I'm Christine Lisi. A little more than 2 weeks after going into cardiac arrest during a game, Bills safety Damar Hamlin continues to take small steps forward in his recovery. Coach Sean McDermott said Hamlin's been at the team's facility almost daily, getting back into a bit of a routine. Bills do host the Bengals in the AFC divisional playoff game on Sunday. Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts, a full participant at practice today. Hurts not worried about the possibility his sprained right shoulder could be a target for the Giants in Saturday's NFC divisional game. He says it's football. He's got a bounty on him every week he's out there. Hurts' mentality is no surprise to ESPN's Damian Woody.
This is a one-game elimination. Okay, it's one-game elimination. I'm going to say this. Whatever injury I got going on, I'll worry about that in the offseason, okay? Give me whatever you need to get me to make so I can get through the game. And that's going to be the case with Jalen Hurts. It's like, he already talked about it. It's like, it is what it is. It's not going away.
Former NBA coach and player Chris Ford died yesterday at the age of 74. Ford won 3 NBA championships with the Celtics, 1 as a player and 2 as an assistant coach.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt.
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Me. I just did it for Muso's reaction. Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yeah.
It's hump day.
Walker Howard.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Toddy.
Hump day.
Man, I told y'all.
It's hump day.
Gotta tell y'all.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We'll talk about it.
Hump day.
Cardell Thomas in the portal.
It's hump day.
We'll talk about it.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Sean Payton interviews with the Broncos.
Hump day.
We'll talk about it.
It's hump day.
Grabs back.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Austin Nola.
Hump day.
Aaron Nola.
It's hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Muse, it's almost baseball season.
Hump day.
Now that we can all get excited about.
It's almost time for our daily Cali High yells.
It's hump day.
During Tigers in the Pros.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
All right. We got a lot to do. Glad you're here. Taylor Calandro later this hour for Little Bourbon Dictionary. Hope your day is going awesome. So on Tuesday's show, we talked about Walker Howard formally entering the transfer portal, at least formally saying his farewell. And 24 hours later, less than 24 hours later, we know his destination, which, to be perfectly clear, was known a day ago. And that's that he's headed to Ole Miss. So Walker Howard did put out his graphic on social media announcing his commitment to Ole Miss, where he will go play under Lane Kiffin. If you missed Tuesday's show, I would highly recommend that you go back and check it out. I went through a lot of the particulars about the situation with Walker Howard, the decision that he's made, a couple of things that jumped to the forefront. Number one, this does validate a lot of what we said, which is Walker Howard wasn't looking for a spot where he was going to go and be given the job. He was looking for an opportunity to compete, something he did not feel like he had at LSU, with both Jaden Daniels and Garrett Nussmeier back, Walker was going to be the third-string quarterback, and the third-string quarterback at LSU was not getting any reps with the ones or the offense, quite honestly. There was only, a handful of practices all year where Walker actually practiced with the offense, whereas by and large what you're doing is giving the defense a look, and are you really getting better within the offense if that's the case? So he's going to a place where he's going to be able to compete, but they have an incumbent. So you would assume that he is not going to be starting. Jackson Dart is there, and he is the incumbent, and that you may go, why would you go somewhere where they have an incumbent? Because of exactly what I just said. He wasn't looking to be handed a job. He wanted an opportunity to compete and improve and grow, and that wasn't going to happen, at least in 2023 at LSU. I think there's a couple of ways to look at this. One is obviously what this means for Ole Miss, and two, where does LSU go from here? Now, I got a tweet earlier today, a guy named Bill Hodges on Twitter, and by the way, I don't think that his point of view is any different than the point of view a lot of people had. He's just the guy that tweeted me, so I did reply to him. He said, Matt, I just listened to LSU Daily. By the way, so I put yesterday's show open where I talked about Walker Howard on the LSU Daily podcast. Would highly recommend you go subscribe up on your favorite podcast app. He said, good stuff. So basically, Jaden returning ruined our chance for Walker to stay. That love for a veteran quarterback just bit LSU in the behind for the future. That sucks. Okay. A couple things. Number one, Jaden returning isn't what ruined the chance for Walker to stay. Jaden and Nussmeier returning is what did that. And I would submit to you that before the second half of the Georgia game and the bowl game, there was a really good chance that Garrett Nussmeier would have found himself in the portal. And if Garrett Nussmeier had left, Walker would still be here. So I fundamentally disagree with this line of thinking for a couple of reasons. Number one, this is an inarguable point. In 2023, if you say you can have Jaden Daniels or Walker Howard, 100 bajillion%, 100 times out of 100, give me Jaden Daniels. Give me the fifth-year quarterback who started 40-plus games, who just accounted for 3,800 yards, who was 70% of your offense this year. Give me that guy 100 times out of 100 in 2023. LSU, I'm going to say this very clearly, LSU is a national title contender in 2023. That's not pie in the sky. You return your entire offense, a really good defense, and you loaded in your front seven. Okay? I'm not saying LSU's going to win it. I'm not saying they're a favorite to win it. What I'm saying is they are a legitimate contender. LSU is going to be a preseason top 10 team in America. So if you're moaning about your fifth-year senior quarterback returning and a freshman leaving, you're missing it. Because you're better in 2023 with Jaden Daniels than with Walker Howard. Okay, that's one. Two, all the people bemoaning that are all the people that are high on Nussmeier as well. So what this means is Nussmeier is staying. And he becomes your heir apparent for 2024 and possibly 2025. So that's a good thing. Which if you get your way and Nussmeier stays and goes on to be great and all that stuff, you wouldn't even see Walker until 2026. And what's to say he'd even be here? That's why Walker had to look at his situation and say, I'm going to jump now. And similarly, Garrett Nussmeier had to make his decision. So if you look even to 2025, let's say hypothetically, Jaden in 23, Nussmeier in 24, let's say Nuss leaves after 24 and goes to the pros. Well, in 25, if you don't have Nussmeier, you'd have Ricky Collins, provided he's still here. You'd have Colin Hurley, who we heard on the show earlier this week, who people are very excited about. Whoever the freshman is that you'd sign in the 2025 class. And if you need a transfer, go get one. Let me remind you, over the last decade, Zach Mettenberger, Danny Etling, Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, your most successful quarterbacks have all been transfers. Just like you lost Walker Howard in the portal, you can gain a quarterback in the portal. And every year, there are talented players that can either be a long-term solution or a one-year stopgap solution in the portal. So if you have to supplement there, do it when the time comes. But the thing that you have to sort of recalibrate with respect to quarterbacks in college football today is, yes, you need to sign one in every class, but quarterback is truly a year-to-year proposition because anybody can leave at any point, but you can similarly gain anybody at any point. The likelihood of somebody waiting 4 or 5 years to play now in college football, it just doesn't happen. So, yes, you sign that young quarterback because maybe you land on the Bryce Young. Maybe you land on the Trevor Lawrence. Maybe you land on the guy that's the young phenom ready to start right away and hits and goes kaboom and is a 3-year starter and wins a couple of natties. Or maybe they don't develop, or maybe you have a transfer that starts for a year and then you get that guy as a second year. But whatever. You sign one every year, but you reassess quarterback every year. It's just the way you have to do it. So you have to recalibrate how you think about that position. But LSU in 2023, if I put this to a vote to LSU fans, in 2023 for this season, would you rather Jaden Daniels or Walker Howard? The answer is easy, and it should be unanimous. And then you worry about the future before. So that line of thinking, I think, is fundamentally flawed. If you're thinking, man, well, we got the veteran quarterback back, but it screws us for the future. Don't worry about the future. Worry about the now, because you're going to have options next year in the portal, and the year after that, and the year after that, and so on. One other thing that I want to put on your radar. I don't think Ole Miss is done yet at quarterback. And this is where, I think for a lot of LSU fans, it's going to get a little hairy if Spencer Sanders ends up signing with Ole Miss. With all the Walker Howard stuff that really started percolating, I did a lot of digging with a lot of people I know that cover Ole Miss over the weekend, and they are still very, very much in the running for Spencer Sanders. Spencer Sanders is the fifth-year senior who just entered the portal from Oklahoma State, and Auburn's after him, and Ole Miss is after him. And there's a pretty good feeling like he might be an Ole Miss lean. And I'm going on the record with this. Don't be surprised if Spencer Sanders picks Ole Miss. And then you have Sanders, Dart, the incumbent, and Walker Howard. And you could say, well, Walker's going to be in the same position. In that situation, I think Jackson Dart hits the transfer portal. So, again, it's not decided, and we'll see what Spencer Sanders ends up doing. Maybe he goes to Auburn. Maybe they throw him a boatload of money. Or maybe Florida right now. Jaden Rashada entered asked out of his letter of intent. Maybe they look for another player, a veteran player. They got Graham Mertz from Wisconsin. But don't be surprised if Spencer Sanders ends up at Ole Miss. And if he does, I think Jackson Dart hits the portal. And then it's a Spencer Sanders, Walker Howard battle in 2023 down there in Oxford. Just something to keep an eye on. So still a lot of moving parts. Today's the last day for players to enter the portal. Remember, once you enter the portal, you can name your spot wherever. But if you're going to go through spring practice, you got to be enrolled for spring classes in the spring semester. So all those decisions should be coming down soon. All right, it's After Further Review. Hump Day shows are brought to you by Pluckers. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Nicholson and Blue Bond, of course, trivia tonight and every Wednesday over at Pluckers. So Walker Howard picks Ole Miss. The other bit of transfer portal news today is a guy that LSU fans have been keeping an eye on for a long time. His LSU career is finally over. Cardell Thomas hits the portal today. We'll talk about that next and the LSU offensive line situation when we return on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. I tell you what, follow Clegg's on Facebook if you don't already. They do a great job whenever they get a truckload of new flowers or plants or any type of shipment there on site. They do a great job of posting them to keep up on their Facebook page. So that's a really good spot to go. Just follow the Clegg's Nursery Facebook page if you're interested. Like, they had some beautiful magnolia trees on there yesterday. So you can check that out at Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations, Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. I tell you every day to buy local, shop local. They've been around for more than 60 years. And remember, this is the time of year. This is the time of year to plant trees, shade trees, fruit trees, not citrus, but like pear trees and things along those lines, and shrubs and bushes. So nobody has a better selection. Go see our friends today at Clegg's Nursery.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bourbon Toyota in Opelousas is here to help you ring in the new year with no markups, and you'll never pay over MSRP. And we have new inventory arriving daily. So Happy New Year from our Corvell Toyota family to yours.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Start your day with news and newsmakers. Start your day with traffic, weather, and local stories that are important to you. Kickstart your day every day.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Hey, Muse, tell us about today's Citizens Bank and Trust Twitter poll question of the day.
So get over to the 104.5 ESPN Twitter account and vote. Today's Citizens Bank poll of the question.
You go vote.
Where will Sean... Well, I can't do that. I mean, I made the poll.
You get over to the poll and vote.
But I made the poll.
But you made the poll at the ESPN 104.5 ESPN account, not your personal account.
I guess that's fair. Anyway, the poll today that you should go vote on at the 104.5 ESPN account is, where will Sean Payton be in 2023?
Okay.
Denver?
Yeah.
Houston? Carolina? Or back at Fox?
What about Arizona?
Nah.
I mean, they've requested and been granted permission to interview him.
But they don't have an interview scheduled yet.
But that's got to be an option.
But they don't have an interview. Well, I only have 4 options, man. So I went with the 3 interviews that he has scheduled and his current job.
Other,
eh.
Yeah. I'm going to go other.
Okay.
No, I'm going to go Denver.
Okay.
I'm going to go Denver. But then again, I said I shot my shot. I had to be really careful there.
Yeah, you did. Always shoot them, man. Always shoot your shot.
When I said the Rams, that I thought McVay would step aside.
Almost.
Got closer than a lot of people thought, didn't
almost,
it? A lot of people were poo-pooing me. Now, look, they were right to poo-poo because ultimately McVay went back. But McVay, that's something that's going to happen every offseason with McVay. You can tell that's percolating there. He's a guy that it's different when it's media speculation and when the person says it. Sean McVay said it.
Yeah.
He said he's not going to be a coaching lifer. He wants to do TV. He has said this on the record, This isn't, splash reports on Sunday morning. It's not Shefty trying to get clicks. The man said it. Listen to him. Right?
No, I mean, yeah.
I know.
I think he'd actually be pretty good at TV.
I do too. I do too.
So, yeah. All
right.
for it.
All right, so go vote there in the Citizens Bank and Trust Twitter poll at 1045 ESPN on Twitter. Oh, and tonight, Scone and Tea, we're back at Oliver Twist. So a little bit of a note, we were going to shift locations, a little bit of a snag. Scone and Tea tonight, 7 o'clock, back at Oliver Twist on Perkins Road. We'll look forward to seeing you there, me and T-Bob at 7 o'clock. So on the day that Walker Howard picks Ole Miss, this is also the day, the 18th, that this portal window closes. So players, this is their last opportunity to enter the portal. As a reminder, you don't have to pick your destination, but you have to be in the portal in the window. And then at any point, you can choose your destination after that. Cardell Thomas has entered the transfer portal. And it's not often that an offensive lineman that's a little buried down the depth chart is going to generate the type of reaction that Cardell Thomas has, but I think we all know the reason why. He was, when he was coming out of, first of all, he's a Baton Rouge guy, right? Not only a Louisiana guy, but a Baton Rouge guy. He prepped at Southern Lab and was at one point, one of the high, not just, at any position, one of the highest rated prospects in the country back in the class of 2019. He went to some of those elite camps, struggled a little bit, and so he lost his 5th star, but you're still talking about a guy that was on the 247 composite, the number 97 player in the country. Now, this is where some of the scouting service saw it differently, right? So the composite, so that's the average rating of the recruiting services. 247, their specific rating, had him as the 22nd offensive guard in the country. The composite had him as the 4th best offensive guard in the country. So it really varied by scouting service as his recruitment went along. And like we said, by and large, what happened was Cardell was a very big, look, when he signed, he was 6'3", 356, coming out of high school, playing 1A ball, and he was manhandling children, right? He went to some of the elite camps, struggled against some of the guys that were more comparable to his size and ability, and so his recruiting ranking dropped a little bit. Came to LSU in 2019, and you might remember had the really gruesome injury. He had the displaced fracture. He had the Nick Fitzgerald injury. Remember the quarterback from Mississippi State, the ankle injury, whereas the broken ankle with dislocation. That's what happened to Cardell. In a practice. So he ended up redshirting in the 2019 season, the national championship season. Worked really hard to get back. Played in just one game in 2020 in the COVID year. And a lot of people thought 2021 might be his opportunity. And it started in just 2 of them. He started 2 games of the 6 that he played and played in only 3 games this year. So a guy that... just as his time at LSU went along, just continued to get passed by younger, talented players, and it's and I want to be very clear. There's a big part of me that that sort of feels for Cardell Thomas because I've been asked. I mean, if you say what guy on this roster have you been asked the most about over the last 4 years, it's by a mile Cardell Thomas. And the reason is because of the recruiting ranking. And when he was coming out of Southern Lab, he was a highly ranked guy. And so there was a ton of expectation heaped upon him based on the recruiting service, where that's unfair to Cardell Thomas. He didn't ask for the recruiting ranking or anything like that. Now, he did a lot of media. He was a very public member of that 2019 class where he did a lot of interviews. He's very active on social media. So he recruited that class a lot, which is very beneficial, obviously. So, but it also elevated his public profile, so people got to know him and know of him more. So people asked more and more. But by the time you get to year 4, and we mention this all the time at a place like LSU, really it's when you get to year 3. If you haven't played by the time you got to year 3, it's probably not going to happen at LSU because now you've had 3 recruiting classes come behind you, and you're going to get passed. Very seldom do you see the Lloyd Cushenberry situation where you sit for 3 years, then in year 4, you finally wrestle a job away. And Lloyd did that for 2 years and became a starter and then a draft pick by the Denver Broncos and started as a rookie. So it happens, but it's also the exception, not the rule. And so Cardell Thomas, who has 2 years of eligibility remaining, he had his redshirt year, so he's got 1 year, and then the COVID year also, is going to go elsewhere to play. And I think when you look at the LSU offense, so there's two sides of this. One is Cardell, and you wish him the best, man. I mean, he's been a hardworking guy. He's super loyal to LSU, a kid from Baton Rouge, from Louisiana, repped LSU with pride, and gave it a hell of a run over 4 years to try to break through, and it just hasn't happened for him. And now when you're returning, your entire starting unit, I know Anthony Bradford's gone, but Frazier came in and took one of those spots. So Frazier, Dellinger, very likely are your guards. It's where's and then Lance Hurd comes in. Where's the spot? So I get it. Go somewhere where you're going to get a chance to play and put film out, maybe develop as a player and get ready for the next level. So I get why Cardell Thomas is leaving. If anything, maybe surprised it took him to this point, but tip your cap for a guy that stuck it out for as long as he did. Now, for LSU, this does compound the problem. And if you remember, going into the December signing date, and a lot of us were talking about, okay, what are the positions LSU is going to target? And what I had been told initially was they were looking for a deep threat receiver, right, a game breaker. Well, they got that in Aaron Anderson, who's also going to help them in the return game. They had to address defensive line. They did that overwhelmingly, both inside and edge players. They've addressed their defensive front. They felt like they were going to need tight end. That's, I would say, still a need out there, especially with Cole Taylor leaving. So, where might that help come from? But the other one, naturally in the secondary, but the other was veteran offensive linemen. And look at where LSU's numbers are now. And this is where it gets a little tricky, because you've got 5 starters coming back. You've got Will Campbell, Miles Frazier, Charles Turner, of course, Garrett Dellinger, and Emory Jones. So you've got 5 starters returning. And then I could point out Marlon Martinez, who's played both guard and center, and actually repped a good bit at center in the bowl game, kind of rotating with Charles Turner. And may push Charles Turner for that job next year. We'll see. So you feel good about those 6. After that, here's the rest of your offensive line. Kimo Makanayoli, Bo Bordelon, Fitzgerald West, who, by the way, played defensive line in the bowl game and may move back to D-line. Don't know if he's going to play D-line or O-line. And then your 4 freshmen, Lance Hurd, Tyree Adams, Paul Mubenga, DJ Chester. Y'all, you have no experience depth. 0. You've got your starters and Marlon Martinez, and then a whole bunch of dudes that haven't played. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7 dudes that haven't played. So I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. You're going to say, well, Matt, why would an offensive lineman come to LSU if they're not going to start? I would point out exactly what happened last year with a guy like Miles Frazier, who was a freshman All-America at FIU, came here, not guaranteed an opportunity to start, but an opportunity to compete, and ended up winning a job. That's a spot where you are absolutely going to have to go out and recruit veteran offensive linemen. Let me rephrase it. Young veteran offensive linemen. Maybe guys that have played football at a lower level or the G5 level here in the past year or 2 that are going to have some experience that can give you depth behind your starters. I should mention Tremont Shorts as well. But that's a spot where you're going to have to go into the portal and get more bodies. You have to at this point, because we know the most injury-prone position on the field is on the offensive line. Makes sense. Big bodies in a phone booth, guys get hurt. So you need depth. You need depth at those spots. And look, we saw Will Campbell miss the Tennessee game this year due to a medical emergency, but we saw Garrett Dellinger get hurt and miss time this year. I mean, you saw the need for a rotation, and they're going to have to go address that in the offseason here in the transfer portal, because you have seen now Anthony Bradford leave for the draft, and 4 players leaving the portal. Doomerville, Xavier Hill, Cam Wire, now Cardell Thomas. So you've lost 5 of your veteran backups this offseason. You've got to go replace those guys with some type of experience back up on the offensive line. So if you're looking for a spot where LSU may target in the portal and in the February signing date, look for veteran offensive lineman. Cardell Thomas, his LSU career, 4 years, is over, and he'll look to finish his career elsewhere. All right, it is after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back around the SEC Bourbon Dictionary in 15 minutes. Stick around.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet. Dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Of course, tonight and every Wednesday at Pluckers is trivia night. So this is actually a pretty fantastic night to get by Pluckers, especially the campus location because you got LSU basketball tonight. So LSU basketball is going to play tonight against Auburn at 6 o'clock. So it's a great opportunity to get by Pluckers maybe before the game or after the game. Enjoy a great meal, and trivia starts at 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock at campus, 7:30 at Bluebonnet. So you can get by, you can watch the game, and then when the game ends, they'll fire up trivia, and you can test your knowledge at either Pluckers location. Nicholson just south of campus, or Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. 28 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV tonight and every Wednesday. It's trivia night at both Pluckers locations. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $7,500 off new 2022 Ram 1500s. New 2022 Ram 1500 trucks on our lot now with $7,500 off MSRP. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, glad you're back with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Plucker. It's going to be a good night. LSU basketball tonight. You've got Pels back on the floor tonight as well. Finally back home after that 5-game road swing. So lots of action on the hardwood tonight. Great options. Pluckers for trivia night tonight at 8 o'clock. You can get by and watch the games. Or T-Bob and I will be at Oliver Twist tonight for Scone and Tea starting at 7 o'clock. So if you can't be there with us at Oliver Twist, you can always watch on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. So those watching right now, thank you so much. Please do us a solid, smash that like button, and we'll see y'all tonight at 7 o'clock. We'll go around the SEC here in just a quick second. Joe Burrow on Football Night in America. I'm not sure if y'all saw this, but Joe Burrow on Football Night in America sat down with Maria Taylor, and he was talking about all the coaches that he had and some of the great quarterback coaches that he had over the year. This struck me. Give a listen to what Joe Burrow told Maria Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, I've had so many great coaches over the years, from my high school coach, Coach White, to at LSU, Coach Munoz. I leaned on a lot, and then here I lean on our quarterback coach, Pitch, a lot. And
LSU leaned on Coach Munoz a lot. I'm not sure if you heard that or saw that, but it struck me because 2019 is always going to be the standard here. I think we can all agree on that. We will talk about, revel in that season forever. For as long as they play football at LSU, we will talk about, respect, revel in the greatness that was 2019. And there will be books written and documentaries done and podcasts and stories and things that will last forever. And there are also going to be narratives that last far longer than I ever will on the radio or any of us sitting in this room or probably many of you listening, right? Think about Halloween 1959, right? Billy Cannon's run. We know Billy Cannon's run. And out of that, there have been a lot of stories like, they should never have fielded the ball inside the 15-yard line, and Billy Cannon's told all these different stories, and we know about him making the stop on the goal line along with Warren Rabb. There's so many things that have survived. The rest of that game, and largely the rest of that season, we don't know much about. Like, people really forget that the next week, LSU went and lost at Tennessee. And had they beaten Tennessee, there was a controversial play at the goal line where Billy Cannon swears he scored. They ruled him down short. Had he scored, LSU would have won back-to-back national titles. But because they lost to Tennessee, they didn't win the 1959 national championship. Anyway, my point is, there are things we will remember, that history will remember, and some things we forget. And the thing that history needs to remember about 2019 is the role that George Munoz played on that team. I know Joe Brady won the Broyles Award for the best assistant, and I think that's part of the narrative that's going to be. And Ed Ogeron sort of carried that narrative by calling it the Joe Brady offense and bringing Jake Peets and talking about the Joe Brady offense and so on. And things that I think are, and again, every time I talk about this, it feels like it does feel like I'm minimizing Joe Brady. And I'm not trying to completely eliminate Joe Brady, but I'm trying to allow Joe Brady to exist alongside the others that played such a huge role in that offense. Like, Steve Ensminger called the offense, but Steve doesn't care about credit, so he's never going to go pound his chest and demand people give him the credit he deserves it, but I'll do that. Joe Brady didn't call plays, and Joe Brady didn't work with the quarterbacks. Joe Brady was a receivers guy. If you want to say, hey, Joe Brady working with Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Terrace Marshall, the season of 10,000 catches or the summer of 10,000 catches thing they talked about, the drills where they would get behind a doorway and pop out and catch a ball. You want to give Joe Brady some of the credit for all that? Cool. When you talk about Joe Burrow's development, you got to talk about George Munoz. You have to. And I'll never. This is one thing that's always stuck in my mind from that, which we're now 3 years removed, a little more than 3 years removed. But when Joe Burrow won the Heisman, you go back and you look, and it's Ed Ogeron, Steve Ensminger, the Burrow family, and then there's this dark-haired fella, and everyone's like, who's that guy? I remember, like, who's the guy next to Ensminger? It was George Munoz. It's a guy that was an offensive analyst who worked with the quarterbacks and worked with Joe, and Joe continues to say how much George Munoz meant to his development that offseason. That's something. Munoz obviously went to Baylor, lasted 1 year at Baylor, came back to LSU. Ed Orgeron brought him back to LSU. Of course, Orgeron got fired. The new staff came in. Now Munoz is back at ULL. But that's a part of that narrative that has to live on for 2019. And as long as I get asked about it, I'm going to bring it up. George Munoz deserves a tremendous amount of credit for Joe Burrow's development, something that the GOAT still, to this day, is talking about in interviews. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, home of the Charlie's Dozen. That's right. Whenever you buy tires at Shawbills, they extend to you the Charlie's Dozen. That's 12 benefits to you, like free tire repair, free tire rotation, free balancing as needed, and many, many more. Not only that, but they extend Charlie's Dozen to every vehicle in the family when you buy your tires at Shawbills. At ShawBillsTire.com, price match guarantee. They guarantee the lowest price that you find on tires anywhere. Cheaper than the box stores, cheaper than the membership clubs, cheaper than other tire stores. Get name brand tires at wholesale prices. Bumper to bumper auto service, and they always treat you like family. ShawBillsTire.com. And a little birdie told me today, I don't know if I can put this out there, but suffice to say that the Shawbills family is growing, and there's another location soon to come. I'll tell you about it whenever it's time. ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, we keep you rolling. All right, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Florida Gators.
Florida quarterback Jaden Rashada has requested a release from his letter of intent after a $13 million NIL deal fell through. That's according to multiple reports. He flipped his commitment from Miami to Florida in November, signed with the Gators in December. NIL deal apparently did hit direct deposit, so he said, I ain't showing up. So now they are scrambling a bit. By the way, there is a report that Rashada's representatives could file a lawsuit against the Gator Collective and possibly the athletic department over their failure to pay because they had a written, signed agreement. Yeah, this is so the NIL stuff, the signed things, the numbers, the paperwork, y'all, is out there. There's a paper trail. Can you imagine if they file suit? Oh, God, that's not going anywhere. All right, go ahead. Next, Muse.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Muse. Where's my goal?
I just when you didn't crumple it up, I was like,
yep.
The stinking basketball goal.
Paulie gave you a 0.1% chance.
Yeah.
Paulie was too generous. Georgia football has another wide receiver in the portal. A.D. Mitchell made the decision to enter the portal. Texas, the rumored landing spot. Mitchell signed with Georgia in 2021. Suffered an ankle injury on the opening play of the Samford game this year. Played just 4 snaps the rest of the season. Of course, Kyrus Jackson's off to the NFL. Dominic Blaylock is in the portal. Georgia thin at receiver.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Alabama inside linebacker Demouy Kennedy has entered the portal. Kennedy was the number 39 overall player in the country in the 2020 class. Tore his ACL back October 1 against Arkansas. Missed the rest of the season. 6'3", 220-pounder. Played in 23 games for the Crimson Tide. He's the 14th player to hit the portal since the start of the season.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
And 5 days after he jumped into the portal, receiver and kick returner LaDeatrick Griffin is exiting the portal. He'll stay at Mississippi State. Had 4 touchdowns a season ago for the Bulldogs. Griffin led the nation with more than 32 yards per kickoff return. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and all of our friends over at Gulf Coast Office Products online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you get at Gulf Coast Office Products, the official office equipment provider of the LSU Tigers, the New Orleans Saints, the New Orleans Pelicans, and the ULL Raging Cajuns. It's Gulf Coast Office Products. Okay, final break here of hour number 1. When we come back, a little Bourbon Dictionary. Got booze questions. Get them in for our guy Taylor Calandro. You can email us. You can tweet us. You can jump in the
Twitter world.
You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat, or you can text 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Bourbon Dictionary is next.
AFR.
There it is, the extra mile. on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. A sophomore at Broadmoor High School is recovering in the hospital after being shot while walking to the school bus stop. The shooter, a 15-year-old former Broadmoor student, is accused of doing this before. The concern tonight, how was this able to happen a second time? School officials and police answer pointed questions. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right. Wrapping up hour number one. Little Bourbon Dictionary. Get your booze questions in. Taylor Calandro joins us to answer them all. Fire away. Email, tweet, text 225-396-4400, 396-4400. How are you, dude?
Good, Matt. I'm actually getting ready to go to our first LSU basketball game this year.
Okay.
Later this evening. So we haven't been to one this year yet.
Not that I'm advocating this, but maybe put a little of the brown stuff in the flask on the.
I'm a seasoned professional. I've done this.
Okay. What's the binoculars? The binoculars flask. Yeah.
Yeah, binoculars. We've had sunscreen, but sunscreen wouldn't really fly inside of the arena. So.
Oh, that's true. But I guess only if they're really checking you. Have you ever
binoculars too? I mean, binoculars, really?
No, that's a thing.
No, I know, but I mean, we used to sell binocular flasks, but like in an arena, I don't know about that.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's old people who use binoculars like from the 10th row.
True, and there's also people that listen to the radio in their ear while they watch the game, which I never understood. But
well, the reason for that, the reason for that, maybe it is an old man thing. I could probably agree with that, but the reason for that is obviously that the play-by-play guy is going to be able to see things that you don't see. Maybe give you updates on injuries or other things like that you just are lost when you're sitting in an arena. And also, it prevents people from talking to you.
Yeah, it's always fun sitting next to the guy with the binoculars in the game, and he's sitting there whispering to you like, "Oh yeah, it's 82 that's down. I can." All right, bro. I'm just gonna wait an extra 5 seconds, and I'll figure that out when they tell me.
All right, Taylor Calandro's with us. All right, get your questions in. Hey, first of all, tonight the break-even bottle over at Oliver Twist is the Makers 2022 limited release. Have you had it? And what do you think?
It's the BRT02. I've had several of them, and that one's very good. That is the one finishing for American Oak Staves, finished in the bottom of the warehouse, compared to BR201, which is pulled from the top of the warehouse. It's a finishing series that Makers is doing. We just got the FAE 01 that they released early in 2021. We just got a random case today, and I put that out. That was really hard to find, by the way. There was only 6 bottles we got today, so we just got that. Speaking of Maker's Mark finish, it's a different one than the one that's being poured at Oliver Twist tonight. And y'all doing that at Oliver Twist tonight?
Yeah, Oliver Twist tonight. It was a little last minute audible, but we'll be at Oliver Twist tonight. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I wasn't sure because Josh had told me that y'all were maybe doing it somewhere else.
Yeah. So no, anyway. we last week we did Rock Paper Taco. We're talking about for Scone and Tea, by the way. Last week we were Rock Paper Taco on Perkins. Tonight we were supposed to be at the Chime Street location, but that got scrapped. We're going to be at Oliver Twist tonight. So.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Okay.
All the Makers finishing series that I've tried are good. They're experimental what they're trying to do, and they're very limited. They're kind of hard to find. So.
All right, let's get to some questions here. Josh Rhodes said, Taylor, what are your thoughts on Sotol? Do you guys have any in the store? Got introduced to it New Year's and loved it. SOTOL?
Sotol. I have no idea what that is.
Maybe he meant Stoli? That's got to be Stoli. It's the only thing I could think of.
Sotol?
SOTOL.
Is it tequila?
I
don't know.
You're the expert.
I think
Sotol
is a type of tequila.
It's a Mexican drink. Yeah, a Mexican drink known as State Spirit of Chihuahua Durango.
Nope, I have not had that.
Okay.
If I've tried a Sotol, I'm not sure about it.
Okay, Sean Comiskey said, ask Taylor. Got my dad a First Call Kentucky Rye. It was a hit. Got anything else similar to that?
First Call Kentucky Rye? That's new to me as well. So I really don't know, but I can suggest a really good rye, such as like a Whistle Pig 10 or a Willet Rye. I love Willet Estate Rye, and that's been floating around a lot lately.
Yeah, if you can get the Willet 4-year, the Willet Estate, the 4-year ride, that's fantastic. What's the price point of that? Like $40 maybe?
No, it's like $65 now.
Oh, that is
really everything is climbing. That's something I put out the other day. I was like, this is insane.
That is
crazy. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, everything's going up.
Greg Lehman asked Taylor, have your drinking habits changed since having children?
Well, I've lost a lot of weight the past year, so I have chilled out with the drinking. But drinking was never really my issue. It's always been food. It's always been hand to mouth. Food.
Craig said, ask Taylor, Weller Antique or Weller 12?
Weller 12, all day, every day.
I know, me too. Is the Antique, the 107, why is that more attainable than the other ones? It seems to be anyway.
107 is not very attainable here. Now, I've heard in Mississippi it's way more plentiful. Now, on the flip side, you can get special reserve here, and if you can't find special reserve in other states, you can find 107. And like Ohio, I also know that it's so random, but Weller Antique 107 is plentiful with the public liquor stores that they have, that they're controlled by the state. So it's a market-to-market thing, and with the whole Sazerac portfolio right now, it's changed again. Man, I don't know what the allocation process is with all of that, but it's kind of apples and oranges with the 107. We don't see a lot of 107 here, but Mississippi does. I don't know why.
That's interesting. Taylor Calandro from Calandro's. Y'all get on by and see him at 2 locations in Baton Rouge with us here every Wednesday for a little Bourbon Dictionary. All right, dude. Enjoy the game tonight, man. Go Tigers.
All right. Yeah, go Tigers. All right, man.
All right, we'll see you. That's Taylor Calandro. This is AFR. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Sean Payton interviewed with Denver today. We're going to talk about that when we come back right after SportsCenter. Stay here.
AFR.
Brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. Michelli.com. Of course, last year we celebrated with Michelli their 75th anniversary. Now, here in 2023, they're on to year 76. And hopefully 176 more or as many more as they possibly want. But one of the most impressive things about Michelli is over that time span now, for 3/4 of a decade, they've maintained their local ownership. Locally owned and operated while continuing to grow. Now 29 offices across 11 different states. No matter where you are, if you weigh or measure something, they sell, service, rent the products you use to weigh and measure. They can calibrate your devices. And one of the big pushes a year ago was increasing their PMD labs, their precision measurement device calibration labs. Remember also their track system. It gives you 24/7, 365 access to all of your calibration certificates, and that is a free service from Michelli. Learn more, Michelli.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has $4,000 off MSRP plus $1,000 Ford credit cash on new 22 Ford F-150 XLT trucks. That's $5,000 off plus 0% financing. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. ESPN's Todd Archer is reporting the Cowboys still plan to have Brett Maher kick in the NFC Divisional Round playoff game against the 49ers Sunday night, but they will sign Tristan Vizcaino to the practice squad as insurance. Maher missed 4 extra points in the wild card win over the Buccaneers. Dallas, in the end, does need to stick with him, advises ESPN NFL analyst Marcus Spears.
It boils down to the devil you know. And the devil you know is Brett Maher, who has been consistent throughout majority of the season. And you don't make a change, because what happens if the other kicker comes in and it's such a pressurized situation and he misses one that's for 3-point?
Marcus Spears on NFL Live. Bills safety Damar Hamlin's been at the team's facility almost daily, according to coach Sean McDermott. Hamlin, who went into cardiac arrest during a game a little more than 2 weeks ago, does remain limited just overall in what he can do, but he is continuing to take steps forward. Buffalo home to Cincinnati in the AFC divisional game on Sunday. NBA Cavaliers guard Donovan Mitchell, with a strained left groin, will not play tonight against a Grizzlies team that has won 10 straight games.
We all know the game isn't over till it's over. So next time you need parts for your car, don't call it quits. Go to eBay Motors. They have 122 million parts to take your car into overtime. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
Let's ride.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. We'll talk to Graff here in about 15 minutes. Pell's finally back at home after a five-game road swing. Muse and I were talking about this during the break. I was lit Friday. We were supposed to go to dinner. It was our anniversary weekend. Erica got sick. She had strep, so we ended up at home, and I ended up just basically just hanging out by myself all weekend. But while she just was in the bed, just sleeping all weekend. She was very sick. But I did go to pick up dinner on Friday, and I was in the car, and I listened to a lot of the Pelicans game on Friday. It was the game in Detroit, the game they won. And Graff deserves a tremendous amount of credit because with John DeShazer's cancer diagnosis and not traveling as much, not doing as many games this year, Graff is doing a lot of games solo this year. And I don't know the count. He may know it offhand. We'll talk to him here shortly. But, y'all, Friday night, fourth game of a road swing, fourth of a 5-game road swing in Detroit, solo on that game, and living and dying emotionally with every possession. Like, dude's really good, man. I mean, I know that. We have a lot of fun with the Graff calls and everything. They give me Graff, but he's really good. Anyway, so we'll talk to Graff here. I'm sure he's excited to be home, as I'm sure all are all of the Pelicans. And there was some good news. There was a video the Pelicans put out today, BI at shoot around. So maybe getting closer. A lot of people have started to talk about, is there some there was an article at Nola.com. Is there some unrest within the organization right now, some frustration with Brandon Ingram, missing nearly 30 games now. So they're aching to get him back, no doubt. But the worst thing that could happen, in my estimation, is bring him back too soon, have a setback, miss him even further. Really, for this team, the great news is they've stayed in contention. They're right now third in the West right now, and that's without BI for nearly 30 games. Knowing you're going to miss Zion for 3 weeks, like you've had Herb on again, off again. Like the fact that you're still where you are, man, just keep pace and be ready to roll come May. That's really, I think, what the target's got to be, or April. Okay. It's after further review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. I know we've talked about it a bunch, but the biggest question for the Saints this offseason, or topic, is Sean Payton. Everything that will happen this offseason begins with Sean Payton. The Saints don't have draft capital. They will once the Sean Payton deal gets done. And now you know what you get for him. So whenever something happens related to Sean Payton, we're going to talk about it because we all presume Sean's going to coach next year. He wants to coach. He's doing interviews, and teams are interviewing him right now. And eventually there will be a deal that gets done. The Saints will recoup some assets, and then we'll have a much better conversation about, okay, what can you target at quarterback? Is drafting a quarterback realistic? Are you more looking at free agent quarterback? So all those conversations can start once the Sean Payton domino falls. Sean Payton's already interviewed with the Houston Texans, and now today had an interview with the Denver Broncos. Peter Schrager on Twitter tweeted earlier today. Sean Payton's Bronco interview lasted several hours in Los Angeles, including multiple members of the Broncos ownership group. He will travel to New York to meet with David Tepper regarding the Panthers job at the end of the week. So Sean Payton met with, I would presume, the Houston Texans by phone, because the in-person interviews weren't allowed to happen until yesterday. Well, he had his interview with the Texans 2 days ago, so I'm speculating there, but would presume maybe that was a phone interview. But the in-person interview with the Broncos was on Tuesday in Los Angeles, lasted multiple hours, and by all accounts went well. Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network today on NFL Network gave this update.
Houston Texans were on Monday, Denver Broncos in Los Angeles for multiple hours. That happened yesterday. Then he's got the Carolina Panthers in New York with owner Dave Tepper later this week. And as of right now, that is it for Sean Payton, Mike. And the Arizona Cardinals also have a request in. They've received permission. All of these teams, the teams are willing to meet the Saints' asking price, which is a first rounder and likely more. So they are in business and they are ready to do the deal.
You know, the most interesting part of this conversation is who ultimately makes the decision. What I mean is something has to happen first. Like, all these teams know what the Saints' compensation is, but what if one team is willing to give up something? I'll give you a real-world example. Let's say both the Texans and the Broncos want Sean Payton, and the Texans are willing to part with the 12th pick, and the Broncos are willing to part with the whatever pick it may be that they get from San Francisco, a pick in the late 20s. Well, the Saints would obviously rather the 12th pick than the 27th pick, but let's say Sean Payton wants to go to the Broncos and not the Texans. Who wins? My guess is it would be Sean Payton, and then the Saints kind of got you by the yin-yang. So maybe it's that 27th pick or that late first-round pick and maybe another pick, a 2 or whatever it may be. So that, for me, is going to be the more interesting thing. And Rappaport kind of talked about that it really, ultimately, it's kind of Sean Payton's call.
For Sean Payton, I think there's a couple things. One, all of these teams represent interesting and different opportunities, so it's really a matter of him deciding what he wants. Russell Wilson in Denver, obviously. Houston Texans do not have a quarterback. Will likely be picking one at number 2. Carolina Panthers also do not have a quarterback. Does he want an established one? Does he want to help pick his own? Where does the cap space land? Some teams have general managers, like, say, the Denver Broncos. Some teams, also the Houston Texans, of course. And look, there's varying degrees of would he get final say, would he not? A lot here at stake for Sean Payton and a lot of decisions to be made.
Boy, those NFL Network music beds are aggressive. Like, just pick a middle point of that again. Just listen to the music bed on this.
Want an established one? Does he want to help pick his own? Where does the cap space land? Some teams.
Right.
I mean, that's like trap music they got behind him.
Yeah, man.
Like, calm the bass line down a little bit, man.
I mean, if you're Ian Rappaport, I would assume he can hear that in his IFB.
I think so.
I'd be like, hey, could you take? That's when I would be giving Muse one of these. Hey,
take it down a little bit.
Take it down a little bit. Anyway, Ian Rappaport said something there. I'm not really sure what it was. All I was listening to was the really aggressive bed music. Denver, I think. What's the update on the poll question? You find that, please, if you would, because that's today's Citizens Bank poll question of the day. Is where do you think Sean Payton lands? Denver, to me, makes a lot of sense. You have an owner that's willing to pay. Obviously, it's the Walmart heirs. So they got money. They're willing to pay. They want to win. New owner. You're trying to make a splash. I get it. You've got a pretty good front office there, right? I mean, John Elway has been there. They have put together winning franchises. They have won a Super Bowl. Denver makes sense there with the front office. Sean Payton has talked about his affinity for Russell Wilson and how he doesn't think Russell Wilson is done. So he would clearly have a plan there with a veteran quarterback. You wouldn't be grooming a rookie. You have a guy with Super Bowl credentials already. And Sean Payton has said it's going to be a mid to late first rounder that it's going to take to get him. And Denver has that. So I think Denver makes a lot of sense. It probably makes the most sense. Houston's interesting because you've got a pick that could land the future franchise quarterback. So that's exciting to have that opportunity. But if you're Sean Payton, you want to win now. It feels like Denver is closer than Houston, albeit Houston in a much more winnable division. Muse, what's the poll results there?
And so Houston actually has a slight lead over Denver right now. Where will Sean Payton be? 37% Houston, 31%, rounds up 32 for Denver.
All right. Interesting. All right. It's after further review. We're going to grab a quick break. We'll talk to Graff to preview tonight's game with the Pels hosting the Heat. Also, I totally screwed up. We were supposed to talk to Neil McCready from Rebel Grove right now to talk about the Walker Howard thing, and I confirmed with him, and I totally forgot to include it on the rundown, and we just blew past that. So let me get back with Neil to see if we can find another slot on the rundown today to talk to him. Walker Howard officially picked Ole Miss today, so we'll see if we can get over to Oxford at some point a little bit. Completely on me. We'll see if we can reset that. All right, quick break. Graff is next. It's AFR.
AFR.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, E-Tel, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
All right, let's say ah.
Where'd my spotlight go?
Super weird, but we can take care of it.
Get in and get better at Patient Plus.
Today, people are walking to a bar.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Pels went 2-3 on their 5-game road swing. A guy who saw every minute of the action, radio voice of the Pels, Todd Graffagnini, good enough to join us now. Graff, how are you, man?
I'm great, Matt. Good to be home for one game.
Man, and then back on the road for 2, but then a little bit of a homestand. 2-3 on the road swing. Give me your assessment of the 5-game road swing.
I thought they played pretty solid basketball, Matt. And the key, I think, to the road trip was the Pels beat the teams that they needed to beat in Washington and Detroit. The other 3 were going to be difficult because you don't have your full complement of players. Winning in Dallas against Luka Doncic is very, very difficult, even if you have a full roster. Boston is Boston. They're the best team in the league. And, when you're going up against Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who combined for 72 points, it's tough to match that. The game in Cleveland, I think, was a little bit different, Matt, because quite honestly, and Willie Green mentioned this after the game, the Pels just ran out of gas, man. It was a very long road trip. And your legs just kind of fail you. It's very interesting because Cleveland, let me get out of here, they're rehearsing here. Cleveland was coming off an exact same type of road trip. They were out on the West Coast for 10 days, and they had 5 games, and they played the last game on Saturday night in Minnesota. And for 3 quarters, they were beating the doors off the Timberwolves. And then in the 4th quarter, they completely ran out of gas, couldn't score, and Minnesota wound up winning that game by 10. And I'm telling you, Matt, exactly the same thing happened in Cleveland. And Darius Garland got hot, and our legs went dead, and we couldn't make a shot. We didn't score for the first, 4 or 5 minutes of the 4th quarter, and a 7-point lead just like that turned into a 9-point deficit, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, we were Monday. We were doing the show and had the game on here, and so we were half doing a show, half watching the game, and it was certainly a disappointing 4th quarter. But 2-3 on the road swing. They're home tonight against Miami. Before I get to tonight's game, we've all seen the video. Bi at shoot around. Can you give us just any update, just a thought there on what's going on, Bi?
Well, he's still listed as out for tonight, but I will say, Matt, that I've seen him do more in the last couple of days than I have seen him do really since he's been out. Now, you've seen him go out there pregame and get his shots up, and he's doing the same thing and shoot around today, but he's doing more. He's starting to trust that toe a little bit more, starting to make some cuts, make some plants, getting up and down the court, running a little bit. So I would say he is much closer than he has been in all of this time. So That's very, very encouraging. But, just saying the Pels fans, until he goes out there and practices 5-on-5 and has a full contact practice, that's when you really know he's going to be close. But he has not done that yet. But the last couple of days have been encouraging, to say the least.
All right, Graff is with us tonight, 7 o'clock tip. It's the Pels and the Heat from the Blender. First time this season these two teams will have faced off. Heat leading their division right now. How do the two teams match up tonight, Graff?
Well, it's interesting because it's kind of strength on strength. The Pels are very good scoring points. They're fifth in the league in points at 117. The issue there, and it's just like we saw in Cleveland. Cleveland was the number one team as far as points allowed, and that was 100. Well, Miami's number 2. They're at 108, excuse me. They're 108 allowed, and Miami is 108.8. So their defense is very, very solid. What has ailed them this year, and a lot of it has to do with, who's playing on a night-in and night-out basis because they've dealt with injuries as well. They're last in the league in scoring, which kind of astounds me. They're at 108 per game. So they score 108 and they allow 108.8. So they're basically a 500 team. But, Jimmy Butler's missed a bunch of games this year. He's what makes them go. But he's in the lineup tonight. They have 3 20-point scores, which is pretty rare. Pelicans have them when we're all healthy and CJ, Zion, and B.I., but they've got it in Hero, Bam Adebayo, and Jimmy Butler. And all 3 of those guys are in there tonight. So it's going to be a tough test, no doubt about it.
Your ability to put your head down and plow through that is impressive, man. Not going to lie to you. I don't know what's going on there, but
they're rehearsing. They're rehearsing in the bowl, and I'm basically walking the concourse in the suites.
I love it, man.
That's literally what I'm doing.
Todd Graffagnini's with us. All right, before you go, give me a couple of keys to tonight's ball game.
I think we're going to have to get the ball inside to Jonas again. We saw him really dominate against Washington and Detroit. And, Miami is an interesting team because they play a lot of zone defense. You don't see that a lot in the NBA, Matt. And they're really a positionless type team. They don't have a true 5. I mean, Bam Adebayo is a big guy, but he's not really what you would call a true center. So I think you're going to have to take advantage down low and hopefully make some shots from the outside. That was another thing that was really a problem in the last game against Cleveland. It's another thing to think about, too, Matt. When you come off a long road trip, it's a little difficult when you play that first home game getting back into it. We actually saw it in the first half against Cleveland. They were really in a malaise. I don't know why that happens, but it is a thing. So hopefully, the getting back in the building, the crowd, I think, is going to have to be a really big key tonight, getting this team energized and to feed off the energy. Because this is a game, quite honestly, that we really need to have. Going to Orlando on Friday and then back in Miami on Sunday. Miami has really been a historical place where the Pelicans have not played very well. So you've got an opportunity to go 2 of 3, if you can get this one here tonight. Orlando's going to be tough. They're very young, but, their record's not that good, and that's a team that on paper you should beat. So I think this could be a swing game for the week tonight.
Great point. Todd Graffagnini, radio voice of the Pels. You can catch him tonight, 7 o'clock tip. Pels and Heat from the Blender. I'm sure it's going to be good to be home. We appreciate it as always, man. Have a great call.
Thanks so much, Matt.
All right, man. Be well. It is after further review. Of course, you can bet on tonight's game at DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. You want to bet tonight on the Pels and the Heat, any of the NBA action, or college basketball. Always a great spot to do it at DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Remember, use the promo code Baton Rouge heading into the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. Bet just $5 on an NFL game this weekend. They'll give you $200 in free bets. That's for new customers. Again, new customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge, one word, Baton Rouge, and bet just $5 on a divisional round playoff game in the NFL this weekend. They'll give you $200 in free bets. That's at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Stepped up same-game parlays. You got to opt in. Every leg you add, the more you add, the more you can win, up to a 100% boost. It's all there for you. Live in-game betting. Bet on leagues you never even heard of before. It's all there. Explore the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Fun parlays and prop bets. It's the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus issued as free bets. One free bet issued based on amount of initial losing NFL bet up to $10. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Licensing partner Gold Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. One more. Larry Nance at Shoot Around today was talking a little bit about this matchup tonight against the Miami Heat. Here's what he had to say about the opponent.
The Miami Heat were in the finals 2 years ago. They still have a lot of great players. Obviously Bam, Jimmy, Kyle got upgraded to questionable. Obviously Tyler's really, really good. Max, I could go down the list. This is not one of those teams that you look at and go, don't play with your food. This is going to be a battle, and this is a team that plays hard and doesn't quit, and we're going to, so are we. So this is one that we're confident going into, but this isn't a don't play with your food type of game. These guys are good.
Pels have been really good at home. 17-5 at the Smoothie King Center. New Orleans is. Miami 10-12 on the road this year for the season. The Heat are 24-21, so 3 games over 500. But as we mentioned, they are leading their division. The West is just kind of a the West is. I know we use the phrase a lot, but the West really is a meat grinder. I mean, when you look at the standings right now, it's Denver at the top at 31-13. Memphis is a half game back at 30-13. Then the Pels are at 26-18. The Kings are at 24-18, so they're tied in the loss column. The Mavs are at 24-21, and the Clippers are 23-23. Golden State in the 7th spot is 22-22. So I mean, you're looking at teams that, my goodness, from the 5 to the 12 to the 13th spot with the Lakers at 24 losses. I mean, keep in mind the Clippers are right now in the 6th spot they're at 500. They're 23-23. The Lakers are in the 13th spot at 20-24. So just one game in the loss column behind the Clippers, who are at the 6th. I mean, it's incredible right now. And the Pels have sort of separated themselves there with Denver and Memphis and Sacramento, but not by much. So, like Graff said, it's important to get the ones you're supposed to get. And you're a 3.5-point dog in this one at home, and that's obviously because you're shorthanded. But you can get this one at home, and you've been really good at home this year. So, see if the Pels can go put together 48 minutes of basketball, get a win, and then head back on the road for 2 against Orlando and again against Miami. The 2-game series will be all played this week. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. As I mentioned, we missed Neil McCready at the top of the hour. Totally my fault. I booked him to talk about the Walker Howard stuff and forgot to put it on the rundown, so we blew right past it. So we'll grab a break, come back, and we'll go to Oxford. If you missed it today, Walker Howard made it official. He picked Ole Miss. So we'll go to Oxford, talk to our buddy Neil McCready from Rebel Grove. What does it mean with Walker Howard going there to the Rebs for Ole Miss in 2023 and beyond? We'll do that next here on AFR.
AFR.
Man, I've loved telling you about New Orleans flooring. You can get to NolaFlooring.com. That's NolaFlooring.com. And every day now, and I'm getting so many testimonials from you all who have gone to New Orleans flooring and have been blown away like I was. 2 locations. The New Orleans location, of course, which is in Metairie, and then Airline Highway in Prairieville. So if you're on Airline in Prairieville and you're going south, you pass the Walmart, and it's on the right. You can't miss it, the big blue sign for New Orleans flooring. They have all of the different brands that you'd want, but they also have their own in-house brand. And at New Orleans Flooring, what they do is they cut out the middleman. So in so many instances, they're saving you 40, 50% on the same flooring you'd buy anywhere else. And because they have the product in stock, you can buy today, and they can install tomorrow. It's New Orleans Flooring. Online, NolaFlooring.com. That's NolaFlooring.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $7,500 off new 2022 Ram 1500s. New 2022 Ram 1500 trucks on our lot now with $7,500 off MSRP. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Reports from around TCU that they are set to announce Kendall Briles as their next OC. We told you about that yesterday, but it looks now like TCU is readying that formal announcement. That'd be a big shakeup in the SEC West, with Sam Pittman losing both of his coordinators in one season, with Barry Odom leaving to become a head coach again, and now with Kendall Briles leaving to become the OC at TCU. So a big shakeup there on the Hill. Safe to say the same is true in Oxford today, where Walker Howard made it official. He has committed to Ole Miss. So let's go to Oxford to see what the reaction is like there and what that means for the Rebs, short and long term. Our buddy Neil McCready from Rebel Grove joins us. Neil, thanks as always, man. How are you?
Matt, I'm good. Appreciate you having me.
Of course. So I had kind of first gotten word about Walker visiting Ole Miss, and that this was really, really serious on Saturday. How quickly did this play out from your vantage point?
So when I heard he was getting in the portal, I remembered that Ole Miss had been very interested in him a year ago and just unable to get, a lot of traction on that recruiting. So I checked with some people over there and was told, hey, the moment he's officially in the portal, we'll move quickly. And that's exactly what happened. And they got him on campus. I guess he got in the portal on a Wednesday. He was on campus on Friday until Saturday. They made him a giant priority. They had a huge vacancy. They might have a huge logjam at quarterback. Going into the weekend, he was a guy they really, really loved out of high school and when he went to LSU. And once he decided to jump in the portal, they moved fast, and they made it happen pretty quickly, as things in the portal tend to go.
Okay, so you just alluded to something there where I wasn't going to go right away, but I will now. You said they had a big vacancy. They might have a big log jam. Can you please elaborate on what this means for the number situation, what could potentially be coming there at Ole Miss?
So I don't know the exact timing. I've heard tomorrow, and maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, there are a whole lot of people that are wrong, which is possible, but it's not likely at this point, Matt. You know how this stuff works.
Sure.
The word is Spencer Sanders, the Oklahoma State quarterback for the last 3.5, 4 years, is transferring here. He's got 1 year of eligibility remaining, and he took a visit. I lose track of time, Matt. A week ago, 2 weeks ago, somewhere in there. He visited earlier this month, I guess, and it's about a week ago. And the word is he's coming. And so Obviously, Jackson Dart started all 13 games for Ole Miss last year. You guys saw him in Baton Rouge. I thought Jackson had a really good season for a 19-year-old in his first year in the SEC, first year in a new system. I knew there was some frustration at times with him with decision-making, holding the ball too long, some things of that nature. But I was not surprised at all to see Ole Miss go aggressively after a young quarterback like Walker Howard. I can't lie to you, Matt, and tell you that I'm not surprised by Ole Miss going after Spencer Sanders. It doesn't, it doesn't make sense if you're trying to come up with a scenario where all three of those guys are still on the roster when the season rolls around in August.
So the odd man out has to be Jackson Dart.
Has to be. Logically.
Right.
I mean, here's the logic on that, right? Is you don't bring Spencer Sanders, a 23-year-old with all that experience, onto your program, onto your campus to not win the job and to potentially be a guy that's kind of a distraction in the locker room. You don't get Walker Howard to leave a place that his father played, that he presumably liked. Everything I've heard is that everything about Walker Howard's LSU experience was very positive, including the overwhelming majority of his football experience. It was just a simple fact that next season he was probably going to be a third-team guy again, and it's hard to get meaningful reps in practice as a third-team guy anywhere. There's just a limited number of reps in practice, and at LSU you've got Jaden Daniels, you've got Garrett Nussmeier, you've got 12 games they're getting ready for. The third-team quarterback getting a lot of reps is not something that's a high priority on the practice plan. So, he's not going to leave LSU, a place that he presumably loves, for Ole Miss, a place that's brand new to him, so that he can be the third-team quarterback. That just doesn't make any sense. So you have to do the math here.
All right, Neil McCready's with us from Rebel Grove on Twitter, @Neil McCready. So when you do the math, that would mean clearly Sanders is coming in, provided he does. Walker's coming in. Walker's not going there to be the third-string quarterback, as you just said, so Jackson Dart presumably would leave. Is Dart shouldering the blame there in Oxford for the second half of the season slide?
I can't say that, and no one has tried to put that on him yet, but I think a lot of us who observed the season those of us who are objective and have two eyes would fight back on that. It's difficult for me to pin any of what happened in the second half of the season on Jackson Dart. In fact, I thought Jackson played pretty well in a lot of the second half of the season. He's not the reason that LSU skull-drugged them in the second half in Baton Rouge. He's not the reason that Arkansas jumped out to a 42-6 lead in the first half in Fayetteville. He's not the reason that was just an unprepared football team in the Egg Bowl against Mississippi State. You can't blame him for those things. Was he great against Alabama? No, but he was pretty good, and he's not the reason they didn't win the game. It was a really close game. I think you could question some coaching decisions in that game. I think you can just point out that it was a very competitive game between two teams fighting for life in the SEC West, and Alabama came out on top, as Alabama is apt to do.
Right.
So I can't blame Jackson Dart for any of that, especially when you factor in, once again, this is a 19-year-old guy playing in his first season in this league, and this is a really difficult league to adjust to.
Let's assume, and maybe we can have this conversation formally whenever all of this does play out, however it plays out. But if that scenario that you just described plays out, Walker's going, Spencer Sanders is expected to commit. If that happens and Jackson Dart leaves, does Walker Howard have a legitimate chance to win the starting job in 2023?
I mean, I think he would get that opportunity. But, look, if they bring in Spencer Sanders, and this is just my opinion, Matt, and I'm going to freely tell you that I could be wrong, that when you cover Lane Kiffin, you don't get a lot of insight. You don't get any insight. You have to interpret a lot of things. You don't talk to anyone on the staff. It's a very closed-up shop. Gets more closed up by the year. So maybe I'm reading this incorrectly, but I'm guessing that if they're bringing in Spencer Sanders, they're bringing him in to be the starting quarterback. Now, he's had a history with some injury issues, including this past season where, Oklahoma State season sort of unraveled when he got hurt. He uses his feet a lot, and that's good for him sometimes. It has also led to him getting hit, getting in trouble. Most teams, LSU included, right, used their backup quarterback a lot last season. Ole Miss was one of the few teams that didn't need to use its backup quarterback because Jackson Dart was able to stay pretty healthy. But most teams have to use their backup quarterback. And so, yeah, I mean, my guess is that Walker Howard's going to take meaningful snaps next season. And he, in this scenario, would absolutely be the quarterback of the future starting in 2024.
Neil, what with what Ole Miss has done in the portal this offseason, how close are they to competing in the West?
Well, they still have a lot of work to do in the portal. I expect some more activity over the course of the next 24 to 48 hours. I expect a lot of activity in May, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They lost another linebacker today in Ashanti Sistrunk, who got into the portal. They're having to do a lot of rebuilding. I think some of that is intentional. They brought in Pete Golding from Alabama. They're revamping their defensive staff. How close are they to competing? You know, look, we just talked about the quarterback situation. Quinshon Judkins is back at running back. They've added a couple of receivers that they're excited about, but that are really unproven. You know, their offensive line should be good. It probably needs a little more depth for it to be great. And then defensively, they're just such an incomplete right now that I don't know how in the world you could possibly judge them. They're one of several teams in the league that it's going to be really difficult when people, you know, do these spring football previews where they're talking about what a team looks like. I mean, it's just going to be impossible really to do that with Ole Miss because I think they're going to be so involved in the portal in May.
The level of drama just certainly went up around Ole Miss. Walker Howard coming in, and we are going to keep an eye on Spencer Sanders in that situation and what that may mean for the Rebs as well and that entire roster. Neil McCready from Rebel Grove. He's on Twitter at Neil McCready. I'll give him a follow there. We appreciate the time, man. Never boring in these parts. We'll keep in touch.
It's always a pleasure to be on your show. I'm a big fan of your work. Thanks for having me.
All right, Neil. Likewise, man. We appreciate you. That's Neil McCready. Guy's been a great friend of the show for a long time. I mean, more than a decade. So always appreciate Neil when he can give us a couple of minutes. Okay, well, I'm going to make that prediction. And I said it in today's Open if you weren't here. But the more that I made phone calls about the Walker Howard stuff in Oxford this weekend, the more I kept hearing Spencer Sanders is still coming, Spencer Sanders is still coming, Spencer Sanders is still coming. And I'm just putting it out there so you're aware. Like, that's probably going to happen. I mean, you heard Neil say it, and maybe everyone there is wrong. But usually when everybody is singing the same song, there's a reason. And Walker Howard didn't leave LSU to go into the exact same situation in Oxford with two veterans ahead of him. So Walker ain't going to go there and leave, and Spencer Sanders ain't going there to sit. So you can tell they're probably going to elbow Jackson Dart out of there. And I don't know if he's being scapegoated for what happened. I don't know. I don't pretend to know or care. That's an Ole Miss problem. But if you made me, with all that we know, if you made me go with my checkbook and make my checkbook, who writes checks? You made me go with all the money I had, put in a big pile at a ticket window in Vegas, say who starts the opener for Ole Miss next year, I'd tell you Spencer Sanders. Because everybody thinks that dude is going there. Everybody. So keep an eye on that situation as it unfolds. Okay, it's after further review. We'll knock out our final break here of hour number 2. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Of course, trivia tonight at Pluckers, both locations, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. 5 rounds, spin the prize wheel. Every team, even if you don't win a round, you can spin the prize wheel and win great prizes at Pluckers. Of course, great spot to watch the LSU basketball game tonight. LSU basketball at 6, Pels at 7, trivia at 8. Great opportunity. Get by Pluckers tonight and make a night of it. Pluckers, you know, like our wings give you the bird. All right, we'll knock out our final break of hour number 2. Muse will have Tigers in the pros. The Nola brothers. Look, Callahan. You ready for it, Muse? You're ready? Cue up the fight song, Muse.
I don't want to do that.
Austin and Aaron Nola, 17 minutes from right now. We're bumping them in with the fight song, Muse. You can sing it with me. Come on and fight.
I don't know it, Matt.
You Bruins and triumph on the field. I'll write down the words for you, Muse.
It's okay. You don't have to
I'll
do
write
that.
them down. I'll
fine.
write them down for you, Muse. You
I
can
can't
sing
do
them.
it.
Paul will sing along with you, too. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. You know I love sharing these 5-star Google reviews. And River City's 1 Hour Air has more than double the amount of 5-star Google reviews of their next closest competitor. And the reason is when you're around for 40 years and you treat people great and you develop that reputation, then people sing your praises, like Chandra Carmack, who left this 5-star Google review. Kevin, the technician, was friendly and professional. He gave clear explanations about the problems the system had, and he quickly replaced all of the needed parts. Another 5-star review, River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, call him today. 752-0001, 752-0001, or online at onehourbr.com. Remember, nights, holidays, weekends, they always work and they never charge you extra. Mention the Moscona special. They'll knock $25 off any system repair. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks. It's River City's 1 Hour Air.
Moon Griffon is back. The voice of Louisiana politics makes his return to Baton Rouge. Catch the Moon Griffon Show weekdays from 9 to 11 a.m. on Talk 107.3.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications. The powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution. A network built for every possibility. Moving faster than ever before. Streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ATEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Black Widow Jeep Gladiators in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Corval Toyota in Opelousas is here to help you ring in the new year with no markups, and you'll never pay over MSRP. And we have new inventory arriving daily. So Happy New Year from our Corval Toyota family to yours.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I'm so excited. I got to go upstairs, Muse. Got to get the Calico football helmet. I got to get my Calico Yeti cup that I'm put right here. We got to go all orange and black. We're going to change all the graphics for when the Nolas are
I'm kind of
on.
surprised you didn't bring the helmet in here the first time.
What,
Just,
what do you mean the first time?
Like when the show started. I mean, you
Well,
knew
they're
they
not
were
on
coming
yet.
on.
Yeah, but
But
they're
you
not
knew they
here
were
yet.
coming on.
Well, no, but they're not here yet. I'm not going to put it here the whole time. It's not here the whole time.
I'm
I
just
mean, I'm only
saying.
gratuitous whenever we're talking about it.
That's
You know,
not
look at
true.
we're bringing up.
That's not true.
When we're talking about it, like whenever it's Tigers and the pros, right? It's gratuitous. Yes, Josh Smith, Gallagher. Yeah, of course. Come on, Muse. I'm not just randomly yelling that in the middle of a day for no reason.
I've seen that happen.
When?
You walk down the hall just out of nowhere. Yeah, I've seen it.
Paul, have I ever just randomly walked down the hall without ever being prompted or had reason and just yelled Calic High?
Not while I've been around.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul. Muse, you're wrong again. Shocked to find out that Muse would be. Muse, give us a few bars of the St. Michael's The Archangel fight song. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a shame.
I don't know that one either.
What's wrong with you? No school pride.
I have school pride.
You have no school pride.
I'm proud of St. Michael's.
Do you have any St. Michael's paraphernalia? You ever wear a shirt?
Dude, I still have.
I'm not talking about your PE shirt.
No.
From a decade ago.
I still have shorts. Right, you gotta have the shorts
from
with
PE. I'm not talking about your PE uniform. I mean something that you have acquired.
It's not my PE uniform.
Post graduation.
Oh, but no, not post graduation. I still have my blazer though from like church days. I still have that.
You had a blazer, huh?
Yeah, man. Tie, blazer, all that.
I mean,
for
we
church.
had to do that
yeah.
too, but it wasn't like an embroidered.
Oh
thing.
no, yeah, embroidered. But I still have it. I don't wear it because I mean, why would
you
I wear it?
Exactly,
Yeah,
which is why it's better to have something that's not embroidered because you could wear it at other things.
I still have the tie too, which I could wear because it's not embroidered. It just is red and black. So I mean, that could go. That could go with things. Yeah.
Paul, give us the Central Fight song. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I don't know it.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, Muso. Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Well, those Brooklyn Nets, you got no Kyrie, you got no Kevin Durant. It's all on Ben Simmons. Big night. Big night for Benny Boy.
Let's go.
Against the Spurs last night,
go.
man. How about a triple-double? 10 points, 10 boards, 11 dimes for Ben Simmons. Shot 40% from the floor, too. Nary a three-point attempt, but shot 40%. 4 steals, 2 blocks, just for good measure. Right there, right?
And we'd be like,
Did he? No.
Did he?
No.
No.
Yeah, we had to stop doing that because he just never did.
I know.
It just never happened.
For those that don't know, that's every time Muse would do this, and I would always do that to see if did Ben Simmons attempt a three. Oh, did because that was the ongoing joke because he just never even attempts
I was
one.
about to say, not even that did he make it. Like, did he even attempt one?
I think he had like 10 attempts all year last year.
Something like that. Cam Thomas gave him 30 minutes off the bench last.
Of course he
attempted.
I know
Didn't make any though. 0 for 4.
Ooh.
But shot 50% from the floor, 6 of 12, 15 points for Cam to go along with 2 boards, an assist, a steal, and a block. Slower night for Trendon Watford, just 2 minutes off the bench, but did score 2 points in those 2 minutes. Some G League action for you last night. How about Darius Days? 30 minutes. 54% from the floor, 29 points to go along with 10 rebounds for Darius Days. That's a cool double-double there.
Good.
An assist, a block, and a steal. It's pretty good.
Yeah, sounds like
sources say pretty good.
Stuffing the stat sheet? Is that what they call it?
Stuffing the stat sheet.
Is that what they call
indeed. Javonte Smart last night, 7 points for the Birmingham Squadron in 27 minutes of action. He would add 4 assists to round out his night. Got some golf again coming up for you here. The West Coast Swing continues. You got the American Express. They play that on 3 different courses, Matt. Starting tomorrow, Sam Burns is in the field. He's played, of course, coming off of the Tournament of Champions here a couple weeks ago. Burns will tee off at 12:31 Central Time tomorrow. And then Ben Taylor, coming off a top 5 finish at last week's Sony Open, is in the field. He will tee off 10 minutes later at 12:41 Central Time. So a couple Tigers to keep an eye on there on the PGA Tour this week. That's Tigers in the Press.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com. That's LMFJ.com. Gentlemen, thrill her. Thrill her with a gift in the red box. A diamond that will sparkle, make you a hero. That's always affordable, and you get the Lee Michaels experience. One of the big misconceptions, people think, Lee Michaels, it's too expensive. No. Affordable, the best quality at the best prices, and you always get the Lee Michaels experience. That's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, corporate in Bocage, in the Mall of Louisiana, and online at LMFJ.com. That's LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Okay, it's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Austin and Aaron Nola are coming up right after SportsCenter at the top of the hour. That's why we're doing all the Catholic High joking there. But they have a great event tomorrow in Baton Rouge, Strikeout ALS. It's a great fundraiser at Red Stick Social. So we'll talk to the fellas who got to face each other this past year in the postseason. I got to ask about Tweety, about their dad, AJ, wearing the Austin jersey over with the Phillies hat, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then Austin got the hit off of Aaron, and it was so awkward because he didn't know how to should he celebrate? Should he not?
Aaron got to pitch in the World Series.
Aaron pitched in the World Series, got to face Alex Bregman. So we're going to talk about that with the guys, of course. This upcoming season, we'll ask them about that, and, of course, promote the event, which is coming up tomorrow. But it's after further review. And you know what, Muse? I mean, you know how much I love Calachi. HUD Coast colors, orange and black. You better believe it.
We can play that fight song.
The HUDCO fight song?
Yeah.
Hit it. Give me a little. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. I tell you, if it's commercial or residential, roof repairs, roof replacements, it doesn't matter. We got you at HUDCO Roofing. Louisiana owned and operated. Offices all over the state. Get to the website at
364.
Well, that's not the website. That's the Baton Rouge number. But we got Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, North Shore, Bossier. Go find the office and the number nearest you, HUDCOroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing and HUDCOroofing.com. All right, Aaron and Austin Nola join us next here to kick off Hour 3.
AFR.
Well, I'm telling you about Relief Windows. Amazing people. Brandon Holly, Adrian Holly, the whole gang over at Relief Windows do impeccable work, as we've talked about for years. Experience, quality, and service. That's what you get with Relief Windows. The experience of a company that's been around, the quality of work that they do, and the quality of products that they sell. All of their windows are Energy Star products, meaning when you install those windows, they're going to help make your home more energy efficient. It will lower your energy bills. You've heard Brandon talk about this. There's instances where people have had their energy bills lowered from $350 to $200 a month. That's incredible when you think about what that could do for your budget, making your home more energy efficient. These windows are an investment into your home. Not only will they reduce your energy bills, but also increase your home's resale value. It's Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, they do it all. They do it better than anyone else. It's Relief Windows. Go see them at their state-of-the-art showroom in Prairieville or online at reliefwindows.com, reliefwindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. A sophomore at Broadmoor High School is recovering in the hospital after being shot while walking to the school bus stop. The shooter, a 15-year-old former Broadmoor student, is accused of doing this before. The concern tonight, how was this able to happen a second time? School officials and police answer pointed questions. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
I've got that blue sky. I've got that sunshine.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Cowboys still plan to have Brett Maher kick in Sunday night's NFC Divisional Round playoff game against the 49ers, but will sign Tristan Vizcaino to the practice squad as insurance, reports ESPN's Todd Archer. Maher missed 4 extra points in the wild-card win over the Buccaneers. Luka Doncic leads the Mavericks against Trae Young and the Hawks in the first game of the Wednesday NBA doubleheader, followed by Nuggets Timberwolves. Denver's Nikola Jokic delivering another MVP-worthy season, currently has 4 triple-doubles in 5 games, and there's one aspect of his game in particular to be appreciated most, notes ESPN NBA senior writer Zach Lowe.
The best passing big man ever thing, it's over. Like, that's done. He's the best passing big man ever. I agree with you that at the end, we're going to regard him. I mean, it sounds crazy to say. He's going to be in the conversation with, like, Magic Johnson and Jason Kidd and John Stockton and LeBron James and Luka Doncic and whoever else you want to name as the best passers of all time. That's how good he is.
Zach Lowe on the Low Post podcast. NBA doubleheader coverage begins in 1 hour on ESPN TV with NBA Countdown.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Busy night in these parts. LSU and Auburn on the hardwood in 1 hour. Pels hosting the Heat in 2 hours. And a big event in Baton Rouge tomorrow. It is always a pleasure when we get to add even more Cali flair to this studio. Austin Nola, Aaron Nola. They got a great event tomorrow in Baton Rouge. Good to have the boys on here. Fellas, how are you, man?
Doing excellent. Thanks, Matt, for having us.
It's our pleasure. All right, first things first. Have we gotten over any family tension from the NLCS?
Yeah, I mean, Aaron's a married man, so that changes everything.
Aaron, by the way, congrats on the nuptials. When did you get married? I don't know if can Aaron hear us?
Oh, I was on mute. Sorry. Thank you, Matt. And New Year's Eve, I got married.
Oh, no kidding, man. So where was the wedding?
It was in Georgia.
Oh, you married
in Georgia, place called Adairsville.
Is she a Georgia girl? Like, I mean, is she a bulldog?
She's a Georgia girl. She is not a bulldog.
Thank you.
Not a huge sports fan.
Good. You know what? Sometimes that actually works better when it's that way. You avoid a lot of awkward conversations. Fellas, look, congrats to both of you on a great year. I know for a lot of LSU fans, people who watch play ball and come up, It was a lot of fun to get to watch the seasons that you two had, and I'm certain being in the championship series had to be a little bittersweet, kind of cool on one hand and bittersweet on the other. I got to ask though about the video with your pops, man, with AJ in the jersey, and of course Austin, you got the hit. Like you've all seen it. What are those conversations like around the family, like for your parents?
Yeah, he. I mean, it's pretty clear who the favorite is.
So like for those that didn't see it, right? I mean, Austin gets the hit off of Aaron. We were sitting here on air when that happened, and there's AJ wearing the Phillies jersey and the Padres hat, not really wanting to cheer, but feeling like he has to. Like, but seriously, I would imagine, like, for your parents, they got to be so proud. But like, do y'all have those conversations, Aaron? Like before the game, do they tell y'all like who they're gonna cheer for, or how do they do that?
Well, yeah, our dad did a few years back. I guess. Well, in 2021 when we first played each other, he said he was going to wear, when I pitched, he was going to wear his Phillies jersey over the Padres jersey, and then when I wasn't pitching, he was going to wear the Pods over the Phillies jersey. Okay. So because Austin's playing every day, and I'm only playing, one time in the series against them. So. I guess he's stuck with that.
It makes a lot of sense. Austin and Aaron Nola are with us here. They're going to be. Are you fellas both in Baton Rouge right now, or are you getting here tomorrow?
Or not? I'm getting there later tonight.
Okay, very cool. So let's go a little bit into the event. By the way, I mean, it's a great event. We've been able to participate for several years now. Austin, if you would maybe tell us a little bit about why ALS is something that drew the two of you to this event.
Yeah, Aaron's the one who got us started. I'm kind of following him. He did a great job of spearheading it, and then once I saw, with our uncle who had ALS, I said this is probably the right thing for us to do. It's almost like it was put in our hands, and we needed to do this. And a great job on Aaron's part of coming up with this and kind of getting the support group and everything. And it's like you said, it hits home for us because our uncle had it, and you see a lot of people around, have it as well. Steve Gleason, I mean, is probably the most iconic. I don't know if that's the right word, iconic, but
I think it's fair.
He's the one that we all think of with ALS in Louisiana with the New Orleans Saints, and then our uncle had it. It's like, oh my goodness, this could be something that we need to do something about. So I said, great job on Aaron's part of going ahead and getting this thing going.
Yeah, Aaron, if you would tell us a little bit about the event itself at Red Stick Social tomorrow.
Yeah, we had it the first time in 2019, and Red Stick Social is a great spot to have it. We really loved it. It holds a lot of people. We had a good turnout last time. We expect to have a better turnout this time. It's like a 3 or 4 story building, and a bunch of food and drinks over there. Talking about ALS a little bit, and there's a couple bowling alleys on the top floor. So people will get to bowl over there and for a few hours, and it's from 5 to 10 p.m. So about 5 hours full of this stuff. So it's a great cause. I'm glad we're doing it again. And past 2 years we weren't able to do it because of COVID. So we're definitely grateful to have it back on track.
And remind me, guys, I know it's 5 to 10, but aren't there like 2 different flights or whatever you would say to where people could go and bowl early, and then another section that comes and bowls late? How does the night break up?
Yeah, that's how it is. There's kind of like 2 separate things, like you said. There's certain times because there's only like 4 bowling alleys, if I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
From last time we went there.
So it's a great building. It's right actually next to where we are in downtown Baton Rouge. Red Stick Social is a great event, and the guys do a fantastic job, and obviously very personable. Meet and greet, pictures, autographs, all that stuff as well. And it's a great opportunity to raise money. So it's Strikeout ALS with Aaron and Austin Nola. The guys will be in town for the event. It's tomorrow, so it's Thursday from 5 until 10 p.m. Guys, if people want to come, can they get tickets at the door, or do they have to go online and buy them in advance?
Yeah, I mean, the recommended is buying them in advance. It's just this website. It's a really quick website. I can repeat it a couple times,
please,
for anybody. It's just ALS ALAMS.ejoinme.org.
All right, let's do it again. I'll write it down.
All right, ALSALAMS.ejoinme.org.
ejoinme.org. And you know what else we'll do, guys? I'll grab that link and we'll tweet it out on all, and we'll share it on all of our station social media. So if you're listening or maybe you're driving right now and you didn't catch all that, no worries. We'll grab it. Maybe we can grab that and put it on the ESPN Twitter right now. And we'll make sure that people have the link to go buy their tickets if you want to participate in the event. Again, it's Strikeout ALS with Aaron and Austin Nola. It's tomorrow. It's Thursday the 19th from 5 to 10 p.m. at Red Stick Social in Baton Rouge. There's food, there's drinks, there's bowling. It's a great time for, obviously, a great cause as well. Guys, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask how the offseason is going and looking forward to another great baseball season. Austin, we'll go ahead and start with you, man. How's your offseason going? How are you looking forward to for 2023?
Yeah, off-season's going by fast.
Yeah.
Like you said, we had Aaron's wedding, and then we're here already getting ready for the season training. It's January, and it means go time. Every time the end of the new year, it's like we're ready to start playing baseball, and you look up and we're a month away from spring training.
Yeah,
but, yeah, definitely excited about our team. I'm looking forward to getting out there and getting everybody together in just less than a month, so it'll be very exciting.
And I mean, Aaron, of course, your season ended in the World Series. Pretty cool that you got to face Bregman. I mean, that was a great storyline with you going against Alex. But what do the Phillies do for an encore, man? How do you get back?
Oh, man, we just, stick with what we did last year. We felt like we added a couple pieces this year to make us a little bit better. It was definitely a fun season. We all felt like not many people thought we were going to be in the position we were in except us, which was pretty cool. But like Austin said, we're definitely excited to get things rolling with this team. And for the most part, it's most of the same guys coming back, which is awesome. So definitely my first time being on a team like this. Obviously getting that far in the postseason into the World Series and coming back with a lot of the same guys. So that should be fun. But yeah, just stick with what we're strong at and try to get hot.
Austin and Aaron Nola. Aaron, again, congrats on the nuptials, man. That's great news. Austin, always great to see you as well, man. Two great dudes who are doing great things at the next level. Wish y'all continued success and hoping for a great event tomorrow out of Red Stick Social, guys. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it, man.
Okay, guys. That's Aaron and Austin Nola. Great guys. Look, I mean, so many people, obviously, who are LSU fans have watched these guys since they were we have fun with the Catholic High thing, but since they were at Catholic and they had great careers and went on to LSU and had great careers and have gone on to their pro careers. I mean, the guys are playing in the NLCS last year, which is just phenomenal to see, man. And I love that they continue to give back. And you heard him say there why the ALS Association why that matters so deeply to them, right? I mean, their uncle had ALS, and that's touched our Guarantee family here as well, a disease that's touched far too many people. So a tip of the cap to those two guys for doing an awesome thing and using their name to get the word out, and we're happy to help them promote it and to be partners here as well. So Strikeout ALS with Aaron and Austin Nola. Again, it's tomorrow, 5 to 10 p.m. at Red Stick Social. The website is ALSALAMS.ejoinme.org. I know that's long, but do we have it up on the Twitter? Okay, Muse is getting it right now, so we'll put it out. We'll put the link on the 104.5 ESPN Twitter, so anybody who's interested can go get your tickets to register. I would assume you could do it at the door as well, but they said they prefer it if you do it in advance. But should be a great night, so get on out there if you can. Okay, it's after further review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. We're going to knock out a quick break. When we come back, LSU Auburn on the hardwood tonight. You'll hear from Matt McMahon as he gives a little preview of the Tigers to try to get back in the win column. It's been a minute. See if they can get there tonight at home against Auburn. We'll get to that next here on AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. It's Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. Want to continue to remind you for the rest of this month, so through January 31st, you can enter the Get Gordon Dance Challenge. You know the drill. Go to any of the Get Gordon social media accounts. Go to @GetGordon on Twitter or Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, and you can see all of the rules and how you can enter the Get Gordon Dance Challenge. Dance to the Get Gordon jingle, and you could win $2,500. $2,500 for dancing to the jingle, which is really catchy, too. Get Gordon and get it done. Of course, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys has helped injured people in Louisiana for more than 30 years. If you've been injured, you need representation. You need to get Gordon and get it done. Go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. As we move into 2023, really excited to tell you even more about how Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys are going to work with Kim Mulkey and some other great relationships. So be on the lookout for new billboards and commercials. It's always a lot of fun. Get Gordon and get it done.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've got that blue sky. I've got that sunshine.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $7,500 off new 2022 Ram 1500s. New 2022 Ram 1500 trucks on our lot now with $7,500 off MSRP. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Start your day with news and newsmakers. Start your day with traffic, weather, and local stories that are important to you. Kickstart your day every day. Mornings with Brian Haldane from 6 to 9 a.m. Weekdays on Talk 107.3.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
We're counting down to LSU and Auburn. Of course, you can hear that game tonight on our sister station, Eagle 98.1. Tip-off here in about 42 minutes from right now. The LSU Tigers trying to get back in the win column. It has been a bumpy road here for LSU after the Arkansas win to open up conference play. They lost by 3 at Kentucky. They were never in the game in College Station a few Saturdays ago. Came home for that game last week against Florida where they lost by double digits. And then we know what happened Saturday on the road against 4th-ranked Alabama where they just had the doors blown off of them. And Matt McMahon was, in his postgame, was honest about it. I mean, it was as thorough a beating as certainly as this team has taken and as he had been a part of. It was just a completely uncompetitive game. And for LSU, if they don't bring defensive intensity, that's how it's going to go. Now, if there is a reason for optimism in this ballgame tonight, something we discussed with John Brady yesterday is Auburn is a team that, oddly, because it's a Bruce Pearl team, you think of Bruce Pearl teams, how fast they get up and down and how many threes they put up. Usually they score. This is an Auburn team that's only averaging 72 points a game. So in conference play, their conference, they beat Florida and scored 61. They scored 64 at Georgia. They scored 72 in a win against Arkansas. They did put up 82 in their win at Ole Miss, and then they put up just 69 in their win against Mississippi State. So this is an Auburn team that uncharacteristically at times has struggled to score. So LSU is going to need a great defensive effort and a cold night by Auburn to be in this, but they can be there. The line's down to 4.5. Auburn's a 4.5-point favorite. So a drastically different reality than what you were facing when you were on the road at Alabama this past weekend as a 15.5-point underdog Saturday. And Matt McMahon understands what's on the line and what is possible here for his team coming off that loss on Saturday.
Great opportunity for our program this week, having two ranked teams here at home, starting with Auburn tomorrow night. Obviously, we have a lot of work to do to continue to keep getting better, try to find a way to improve and give ourselves better opportunities to be in games. But we're really looking forward to this opportunity tomorrow night back in the PMAC.
The bad news we got yesterday was that, or Monday rather, was that Imani Wilkinson is out indefinitely, shoulder surgery. Imani had seen a lot of his minutes eaten up anyway. And I don't mean to be dismissive. Obviously, a young guy who was one of the first to buy into Matt McMahon. He's one of those guys who decided to come back and play for the new regime, but hadn't really found his niche in this team yet. But he's going to be on the shelf. But the good news for LSU is that it looks like they're going to get Cam Hayes back tonight.
I expect him to be back in the starting lineup. I think he's getting really close to 100%. I did not expect to have him on Saturday. He did not practice all week, but in Friday night had a good individual workout. Followed that up. We went over to the gym early with him and had another productive individual workout, so we wanted to try and get him 15 to 20 minutes Saturday. Thought you saw his first run in the game, the fatigue of having not really practiced or played since the A&M game, but I thought he settled in from there. I had a really good practice yesterday and expect him to be full go tomorrow. And
tomorrow, of course, is tonight. This was Matt McMahon's media availability yesterday, but he's your third leading scorer. And when you look at this LSU team, it's not hard to find where the issues are. And KJ Williams is averaging 18 points a game. He is your scoring threat. And Adam Miller is averaging 12. Those are your only two scorers in double figures. Cam Hayes is your third leading scorer at 8 points a game. So on different nights, based on the matchup, you're going to have to find offense somewhere else. And it would be great if another shooter or scorer could emerge somewhere. Derek Fountain at times looked like he might be that guy, but it might just be one of those things this year where based on the matchup and on a given night, it might be somebody's turn. Yeah, my goodness, when you think about Trey Hannibal, the night he had against Arkansas, sometimes it's just somebody's night, and that it makes it very unpredictable. But the thing that LSU has to do always is defend. It's just what this team is going to have to do. And tonight's a night where they'll have a good opportunity against a team that hasn't lit it up offensively. But Matt McMahon also talked about the situation. You've lost 4 in a row. You had this hot start. You were 11-1. You get a top 10 win over Arkansas to start conference play. You lose a close game at Kentucky and have us all thinking maybe this team is better than we all thought they were going to be. Maybe they've had a formula of how they can find a way to win. And since then, they've really hit the skids. They've lost 4 in a row, and some of those the last 3 have looked really ugly. So you've lost 4 in a row. You know what's ahead of you. How do you respond?
It's life. We got to have some perspective here. We got punched in the mouth, got absolutely dominated in a game. Obviously, there's disappointment there, but there's a lot of basketball left this season. And I promise you the 2 teams coming in here this weekend aren't going to feel sorry for us. So it's the response. Do we come together as a team? Do we focus on those areas of improvement and get better there? And do we compete at the absolute highest level possible to give ourselves an opportunity to be in the games?
It's Auburn tonight, and then Tennessee on Saturday. And, of course, Tennessee, a wounded team coming off the loss against Kentucky. So Tigers are 12-5 overall. They're 1-4 in the conference. One of 5 teams that have just one conference win, joining Arkansas, who, again, started the season or started conference play as a top 10 team. They're sitting there at 1-4 in conference play. But, South Carolina, Mississippi State was ranked early in the year. They're down at 1-5 in the conference. And Ole Miss, which we expected to be bringing up the rear at 1-5, is there as well. So it's going to get worse before it gets better for this LSU team. But see what kind of effort they could put forward tonight against Auburn with the Tigers coming in. All right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. That's williamsoneye.com. Maybe you're a shooter having trouble seeing the basket. LASIK could be the answer. Maybe you're a pitcher having trouble seeing your target, or a hitter having trouble seeing the spin. LASIK could be the answer. Maybe you're like Devin White. You're a linebacker and you can't see to the sideline to see the defensive calls. LASIK could be the answer. Not just LASIK. Maybe it's PRK. Maybe it's the lens replacement. I've told you before, my dad had refractive surgery back in the early 90s. And a few years ago, went to Dr. Blake Williamson and had the lens replacement surgery. So now pushing 70 years old, is able to see again without glasses. It's the Williamson Eye Center. No matter your age or your refractive issue, if you want to see 20/20 without contacts or glasses, the Williamson Eye Center can help. Just go for that consultation. Let this be the push. If you need to read all the Dr. Blake's credentials, go do it. Go look at all the social media. You see, guy goes all over. He's brought all over the world, and the country and the world, to lecture at all these different conferences because of how advanced he is in the field of ophthalmology. It's the Williamson Eye Center. Give Dr. Blake Williamson a call, 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. That's williamsoneye.com. We're going to do some Pluckers trivia here coming up in a couple minutes, as we always do on Wednesdays. We'll get to Otter locks in about 20 minutes from right now. You probably saw this story earlier today. Of course, the Walker Howard story here is what is kind of carrying the day. Walker Howard made it official. He has committed to Ole Miss. If you missed Neil McCready with us about an hour ago, he confirmed something that I've heard a lot, and it seems like Spencer Sanders, the Oklahoma State transfer, is also going to go to Ole Miss, which might mean Jackson Dart is on the way out, because if you have Walker Howard coming in, an incumbent in Jackson Dart, and then you bring in a fifth-year senior, you're not bringing Spencer Sanders in there to sit. I mean, you're bringing in Spencer Sanders to play, and Walker Howard to compete. Jackson Dart may be the odd man out, but Walker Howard officially going to Ole Miss. The other news today, with today being the deadline for players to enter the portal with this portal window, Cardell Thomas, Southern Lab prospect who spent the last 4 years at LSU, primarily as a backup. He had a couple of starts a season ago, but Cardell Thomas did, in fact, enter the transfer portal, so he'll finish his career somewhere else with 2 years still to play. So we wish him the best as he moves on from LSU after his 4 years here. But the big national story is what's going on in Gainesville. And we have talked about this. Gainesville, Florida, and that Gator Collective has been very aggressive. They raised a ton of money, and they are spending a ton of money. And Jaden Rashada, their quarterback out of California, had been a Miami commitment. He flipped to Florida in November and is not enrolled and is now formally asked for a release from his letter of intent. And it is being reported that Rashada had a $13 million NIL deal fall through. Basically, the Gator Collective had a commitment from him in writing. They had this offer to Jaden Rashada in writing for $13 million. 3 years, $13 million. And apparently this deal fell through. And so Rashada said, with no money, I'm not coming to campus. So he is now asked to be, the funding fell through, and he's asked to be let out of his letter of intent. So now Florida is sitting there with Graham Mertz, the Wisconsin transfer, and Jack Miller, the Ohio State transfer from a year ago, as their only two options at quarterback. I will tell you flatly, Florida is one of the schools that called Walker Howard and had a significant NIL opportunity. Let me put it to you this way. Learning that Florida had a $13 million NIL offer for Jaden Rashada, if you think Walker Howard picked Ole Miss for an NIL deal, He ain't going to Ole Miss because of NIL. Not with the cash that Florida's trying to slang around out there. Anyway, but I think the bigger question here is the potential ramifications, because we know schools cannot use NIL as a recruiting inducement, okay? And you're all going to roll your eyes and laugh, and you're right to roll your eyes and laugh, because we know everybody's doing it, everybody's talking about it, it's just not public. Well, the collectives also are not supposed to be using NIL as a recruiting inducement, but the collectives are not formally associated with the university. They're not university employees or athletic department employees. So the NCAA has no jurisdiction over a collective, or do they? That's where a lot of this is blurred. Now, you know where I stand, y'all. Like, I have told you, and I am an extremist. I am so far to the extreme of kids getting paid, transfer portal, whatever. And the thing that I will always push back on when people come at me with this, they're ruining college football, they're ruining the game, yada, yada, blah, 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 whatever. You've all heard the arguments. You don't care about the kid. You care about your favorite team winning, period. That's it. That's all you care about. Like, you don't care that little Johnny gets his education and cheer for Old State U. And, like, all you care about is winning on Saturday. Whether you do it with guys who've been there for 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, or a transfer who's been there for 1 year, don't matter. The greatest player in the history of LSU's program was a transfer. Who he graduated? Shut up. You don't care that Joe Burrow got whatever lame degree that he got at Ohio State that he'll never use. You don't care a lick about that. All you care is that he won here, okay? So, and that's fine. I'm for it. It worked. Joe Burrow used the system. That's what it's there for. The problem is not the players. The problem is the farce of a system that's existed for 100 years, where college football existed under the cloak of amateurism when everybody was getting rich except the labor. And the labor finally said, bleep you. I want mine too. And look at what's happening. So, I mean, you could have avoided this circus if for the past century, all the old people running the establishment weren't lining their pockets on the backs of free labor. That's the reality. Don't mean you have to love college football any less or not cheer for your team. It's just the reality. And all I'm saying is I'm for it. I'm for the players getting theirs. I'm for the players being able to transfer. I'm for anything that benefits the players. If it benefits the players, I'm for it. If it inconveniences $1 million coach, I don't care. Don't care a lick. Don't care a lick. So if Jaden Rashada can get $13 million, fine. I'm perfectly fine with it. My question, which I will be fascinated to see, when the NCAA is seeing these things in writing. Y'all, I told y'all a year ago about a kid from Louisiana who signed with an SEC West school. I told you the dollar amounts because I saw the freaking deal. They're in writing. These deals are in writing. What does the NCAA do if they get a hold of this? Can the NCAA go after Florida? I don't know. That's the fascinating part, because that's the only way to curb that type of behavior before guys get on campus. And then again, kid didn't get paid. Deal fell through. Okay, it's after further review. We'll knock out a break, come back. We'll do some Pluckers trivia. We're glad you're with us. Otter Locks here in about 15 minutes. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Carnival time, king cake time, time to get to Rouse's. Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Y'all get to Rouse's or Rouse's.com. Of course, you can swing into any one of the Rouse's locations and pick up your king cake, bring it home, thrill the family tonight, bring them home a treat. Just pull into Rouse's, grab the king cake with whatever your favorite filling might be. Tons of different options as well. The cream cheese, the strawberry cream cheese, your traditional cinnamon, if it's the praline filling. They got it for you at Rouse's. Remember, Muse, check the labels. You can go to Rouse's.com. If you are not in the state of Louisiana, no worries. Maybe you, a family member, a relative, a friend lives outside of Louisiana. You want to give them a taste of carnival season. Go to Rouse's.com, select your king cake package, and they'll ship anywhere in the country. It's that easy. Just go to Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. It's king cake time, y'all. Get to Rouse's.com.
Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Miller Lite has more taste and only one more calorie than Michelob Ultra.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
We do have, I tweeted out the link for Strikeout ALS. It's the event tomorrow night at Red Stick Social with Austin and Aaron Nola. So if you go to my Twitter, at Matt Moscona Muse, did you tweet it out from the ESPN as well?
I did.
Okay, so you can go to at 1045 ESPN as well on Twitter. You can get the link. It's like alsalams.ejoinme.org. It's long and no one's going to remember it. So we tweeted it out. You can go get the link there if you want to register. It's a bowling event. Austin and Aaron Nola will both be there tomorrow at Red Stick Social. Food, obviously beers, adult beverages. They have great giveaways as well. I think the last time we went, I got an Aaron Nola Phillies bobblehead. I think maybe
solid,
and I think it's a
bobblehead night's always so
it's like
good,
a big bobblehead as well. It's in my office at home, but anyway, yeah, great stuff, man. And they're obviously great guys, and they're super accommodating. They're raising money for a fantastic cause. So if you're looking for something to do tomorrow night, Strikeout ALS with the Nolas. All right, it's after further review. All right, let's do it. It's trivia night. Muse, a little music if you would. This is it's your time, Muse.
Don't do this. No, don't do this.
It's your time.
Every time you do this, it goes horribly wrong. No, I'm going to do bad, Matt. I'm going to do awful. I'm not getting any of them right.
Okay. So every Wednesday, trivia over at Pluckers, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. Great night tonight. You know what I mean? You've got LSU basketball at 6. You got the Pelicans at 7.
Yeah.
You've got trivia at Bluebonnet 7:30, Nicholson 8 o'clock. So maybe if you're at the LSU basketball game, when you get out of LSU basketball at the Maravich Center, just come on down to Pluckers and play trivia. I mean, what a night! Really good night here.
Eat wings.
Eat wings, drink beer, watch the games. We're going to have Otter locks coming up. You can bet on them, of course.
He might give you 8 picks again. Who knows?
I need to check to see how he did. Did we ever check on his picks last night?
No. I mean, I know he had Kansas State. They won outright.
Let's see.
And their coach gave a really awkward speech to the crowd after. It
like Mike in hand. Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Was that the unranked over the ranked?
No. I don't remember what that. I think, what are the unranked? Texas Techs?
Okay, we had an okay night. Let's see. Creighton hit. Wake Forest hit. Kansas State hit. Iowa State hit.
500 right there.
Tennessee hit.
Winning night.
We lost with Vandy. Lost with Texas Tech. And lost with Tulane. So 5-3.
5-3, man.
5-3 for the
Otter.
Otter. Let's go, man. That's what you got. You just got to bet them all. Be responsible, but you just got to be here every night. You got to be here every night playing them. They hit, like him and his band of merry handicappers, they hit at an incredible clip. Like if you just got to ignore Otter when he goes to Del Mar.
Yeah.
Just ignore him.
Definitely.
Just ignore him when he's at Del Mar.
Bad.
And other than that, it's golden. Otter went to Del Mar this summer for like 2 weeks, and he was
2 weeks. He was gone for a month.
He was gone for a month.
What are you talking about? 2 weeks.
And he lost his.
Yeah.
When he would give us Otter locks, he's giving us baseball. He's watching ponies, flirting with waitresses, hammering old fashions, and like, it's like, take the Indians on the run line. Like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, hey, Muse.
All right, here we go.
In what year did a 20-year-old Tiger Woods make his pro golfing debut?
His pro golfing debut, 1996. Was that Hello World? No, Hello World was. Yeah, 96. 96.
Yeah! You know the tournament?
Oh, I don't know the tournament. I mean, I know Hello World. I mean,
the
you know
Greater Milwaukee Open. There it is.
It's press conference, I guess.
Muse
Hello
got
World.
one. Muse got one.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, I love the big cat. We know that.
Should we stop?
No, let's keep going.
Okay.
Press the luck. Let's go.
Fishy movie lines. Here you go.
Okay. Fishy.
Given a movie line following the fish out of water trope, name the film. For relaxing times, make it Suntory time.
Is that The Great Outdoors?
No. It was Lost in Translation is what that was. Never seen it.
Never heard of it. I've heard of it. I've just never seen it.
Couldn't tell you a person. I had no idea. I had no shot. And finally, Muse. Martin Luther King Jr. Delivered his famous I Have a Dream speech at what 1963 event?
Well, let's see. It was in D.C. It was in Washington D.C.
It was.
Was it at the Lincoln Memorial?
It was.
Yeah. I do not know the event though.
It was the March on Washington.
Of course. Oh my God. Yes.
Clearly, you hate Dr. Martin Luther King. Clearly,
Stop, don't do that.
Clearly, you do.
Do not do that. Do not do that.
How could you not?
I knew everything
Muse,
else about it.
I tell you what, Muse, that is
Except
just
the March on Washington.
That is an embarrassing commentary on your commitment to equality, Muse.
Stop.
All right,
Do not do that.
Stop. I'm going to stop. Obviously, I'm joking. An historic day in our country, of course. One of the I don't know if it's the most famous speech ever delivered in our nation, but boy, that's on the short list, man. If you want to talk about Abe Lincoln at the Gettysburg Address, Dr. King, the March on Washington, JFK, asked not what you could do, what your country could do for you, but what you could do for your country.
Date that will live in infamy. Pearl Harbor.
Of course, Pearl Harbor. It's on the short list.
Yeah, top five.
Certainly on the short list. Yeah. Okay, Pluckers trivia tonight, either location, Nicholson or Bluebonnet. Y'all get on by and have a night. And if you're not going to get by Pluckers for trivia or at the Maravich Center tonight for the basketball game, T-Bob and I will be at Oliver Twist, 7 o'clock for Scone and Tea. If you can't join us there at Oliver Twist, you can always watch on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. So for those of you watching on YouTube, thank you. Smash that like button, subscribe up to the channel, please. And wherever you're watching right now is exactly where you'll find T-Bob and me in about an hour and 15 minutes. Okay, we'll knock out our final break of the show. When we come back, Otter locks 5-3 last night. What does he do for an encore? Find out next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Buying or selling, commercial or residential. If you need a realtor, you need Darren James. I've mentioned this to you so many times. When you call Darren James, he has a plan. And Darren will show you that plan. It's a 150-point marketing plan. You might want to see this just out of curiosity, even if you're not selling a home. Text the word plan, P-L-A-N, to 88,000. That's 88000. Text the word plan, P-L-A-N, to 88000. You're not getting signed up for anything. You're not ending up on a list. You will get a link sent back to you immediately with Darren's marketing plan. It comes in a Dropbox. It's just a link. You open up, you'll see the entire thing. It's a 150-point plan. It's incredible. Text the word plan, P-L-A-N, to 88000. That's plan to 88,000. And see exactly how Darren James gets your home sold faster for more money. You could always call Darren, 335-7666, or online at agent225.com. That's agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Before we begin any electrical work here, we perform a home safety check that begins at your electrical panel to make sure that you and your family are safe. For all your upgrades, installations, and repairs, call Mr. Electric.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. Glad to have you aboard with us. LSU and Auburn tipping off here in about 11 minutes from right now. Pels and Heat in about an hour and 11 minutes from right now. But right now, time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ott father himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Doing good, Matthew. How about you?
Great. A 5-3 night last night. A winning night for the Otter on the hardwood. Thank you very much. Congrats on a great night. How did you do it?
I guess beginner's luck, Matt.
I suppose. What are we looking at tonight, man? More basketball?
We won the close one with K-State, and man, we were right under the number at the end, but Vandy kept fouling. So I tell you what, that kid for Alabama is good, man. The 6'9" kid, I forget his name right now, but he reminds me so much of Jabari Smith. He's very smooth. Shoots almost 50%, from 3-point range. He's a guy they can ride, man, to pretty far. And, we know about the obvious distractions and, everything that's going on there. But, man, they're looking better and better. And I thought Tennessee was better for a while. No, I think Alabama is a little better because of him. He's a special guy, man. All right, TCU West Virginia, usually autoplay on unranked team favored over a ranked team. But, the odds makers, handicappers are not the only ones that love to look at Ken Palm ratings. Odds makers do too. Okay. And I think West Virginia is just a little off here. TCU is the better team, 5-3. They're plus 2.5 at DraftKings, 5-3 on that one. Okay. Texas A&M and Florida. A&M is undefeated. I'm a little worried about the trip to Lexington, to Rupp Arena on Saturday. They could roll into Rupp with an undefeated conference record. I love what Buzz Williams is doing right now. They're scoring better. They're playing better. I'm going to take them minus 3.5, 5-3 at home against Florida.
Okay.
And what is it? One more SEC game, and then we got a non-SEC game. Missouri is an unranked team that's favored over a ranked team. Arkansas is bad right now.
I know, man. It's incredible.
They are not good. LSU's only conference win was against them. They came from behind to beat Missouri for their only conference win, so this is a revenge game here. The other 3 conference games, Arkansas has lost all of them by double digits. Missouri might be a little bit better at home. I'm going to take Mizzou in that one. And
what's the line? What's the line on the Mizzou game? I'm catching up here.
-2.
All right, Missouri -2. Okay.
-2. And then Providence is getting plus 7.5, 5-8. Marquette's really good, but so is Providence. We're doing this with Greg Waddell earlier from Field of 68, and he makes a good point that the Shaka Smart effect, sometimes it kind of levels off right about now. I think Sean Miller was a little bit stronger than him on the bench on Sunday. That was a high-level game on Sunday between Xavier and Marquette. Marquette's very good, but so is Providence. You throw out the Georgetown, and I forget there's one other team. Oh, and Butler's really bad this year. We smoked them last night in that Creighton pick. So the Big East is a lot of fun. But we're going to take just a bushel of points. How about that? A bushel.
A bushel of points?
Pack. Yes.
A bushel and a peck. Okay,
did they used to serve those little Budweiser 6 ounce or 7 ounces for the 8-pack? Do you remember those?
The little ponies? Yeah, man.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm just wondering if I'm dating myself.
No, of course, man. I'll tell you this story, man. The first, of course, our mutual friend Richard Condon. He would always tell stories about his grandma who lived in the channel until the day she passed. And first time I ever met Richard Condon's grandmother, it was the day that the Saints and the Eagles played in the divisional round in 2006. Remember the game at the Dome where Reggie Bush got blown up out in the flat, but the Saints won the game. Before the game, it was Richard, his son Ryan, and I. We drive down to the channel. We go have a po' boy at Parasols. We go to the house, the shotgun house in the channel that Condon talked about forever. I meet his grandmother, who at the time was in her 90s, and the first thing she says to me is, "Hello, would you like a beer?" And she gave me a Miller Pony. So yes, I was like, "You are you ma'am are exactly the picture that your grandson has painted for 30 years on the radio," and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment. I love telling that story. But yes, so yes, I've had the little ponies, the little 6-ounce beers.
Yeah, that was a fun year, man. I was there too. I was there too.
Well, I was in Chicago the next week as well, and that wasn't quite as fun.
You remember the Eagles backup quarterback who was playing really good that year?
Oh, no.
Donovan McNabb got hurt. Jeff Garcia.
Oh, Garcia, yes. Oh, man, it was on the tip of my tongue right when you said it. Yep, okay. Golly, I forgot. It's been a minute, man.
That's what I said when I bombed the SAT. Everything was on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, that was normal.
No, but I was literally saying it. I was like saying it as you said.
I mean, one damn Budweiser pony. Can't even remember the game. Boy, it was memorable. It was memorable.
I had more than one Budweiser pony that night, man. All right, Otter, where are you tonight?
No, seafood and steak.
All right, Otter's out at Snow's, and he follows us. Thank you, Otter.
All right, thank you, Matt.
All right, Game Time with Jimmy Out follows us in Baton Rouge. If you're not in Baton Rouge, online at 1045ESPN.com or the Game Time with Jimmy Out Facebook page. Getting out of here, T-Bob and I will be live in an hour and 5 minutes from over at Oliver Twist. We'll see you there. Muse Pauly, thanks so much. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
Getting on down the road, remind you about Mold Zero USA, mold-0usa.com, mold-0usa.com. This is their patented, non-toxic dry fog treatment. One of the things that may be a misconception that I really want to stress, it's non-toxic. It is totally safe for your family, for your children, for your pets, for your plants. They come in, and so you don't have to move anything. They can come in and spray your whole home. Because it's a fog, it gets into every nook and cranny, touches everything, so it'll kill all the different pathogens, not only mold, but yes, it'll kill mold, other pathogens, other viruses, odor. So let that fog dissipate. You go back into a clean-smelling home that is completely free of mold or with any other pathogen that it may take care of. You can get online to learn more about Mold Zero USA, about their patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. You can read the study done by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. It's all there at mold-0usa.com, mold-0usa.com.
Bayou Ford has $4,000 off MSRP plus $1,000 Ford credit cash on new 22 Ford F-150 XLT trucks. That's $5,000 off plus 0% financing. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.